Hello. Hello, can you hear me? How are we? How are we doing? Wonder, can you hear the music? It looks like you should be able to hear the music, but it seems real low for some reason. Oh, well, a new song just started. So that's why. I'll be totally transparent with y'all. I am a little dysregulated right now. I'm a little dysregulated. I'm a little frustrated. I was just talking about my job with a trusted loved one, and I just... As you know, last week I decided not to stream, I think on Thursday, because I just was like, I'm just spent. I'm just kind of spent. And I feel like my channel has been kind of taking a back seat these last couple of weeks. And then also there's been some personal stuff happening that has just kind of made things a little bit weird. And so I am finally starting to kind of like dial back in, but you know, it ebbs and flows. But like I'm feeling very much just not great. Not great. I'm laughing just because I'm on stream. I got a job to do. Hello, everyone. Hello, Roger. Hello, Ayana. Hello, 616 and Samai Shuno. Hey, Darl. Hey, July Baby Cakes. Hey, Dog Person. Hey, Horizon. Hey, Koya. Thanks for joining us on Twitch. Hey, Nayana. Okay, I don't know what you made the odds ever be in your favor is really funny. Oh, about the CC. Yeah. So, hello. We're here. Yeah, don't feel like a Lone Ranger. It's not great everywhere. Yeah, definitely. This last couple of, I mean, it's only Tuesday. That's what's also so funny, because I'm like, these last couple of days have been rough. I'm like, it is Tuesday. But yeah, got some weird job news. Not even that personally impacts me. Like, I still have a job, thankfully, but more so just like, the company I work for is so strange. And I've worked there for a year now, basically. A year and like 2 work weeks. And my good Lord, I have never liked this job. I've never liked this job. And I'm like, I don't know, how do y'all deal with it? How do y'all, I think I would genuinely like some insight of how you deal with it, because I sometimes feel like I don't deal with job stuff in the best way. I feel like I'm constantly like, if my emotions are being held in my hand, I'm constantly like picking up and putting down anger and frustration. I'm like cycling between anger and frustration and trying not to lose my job by snapping at people. And I've only ever worked corporate. I worked retail for a hot second when I first moved to New York, because at the time I thought I wanted to do like fashion design and like pursue that. And I was like, oh, I feel like I should have worked retail if I'm going to be in fashion. So I had this retail job that basically I quit at some point because I got written up, or yeah, I think they were gonna write me up, or I got a warning or something like that for being late because I kept clocking in like 1 or 2 minutes after my shift time, which can't do that, I guess. I work corporate, you know what I mean? My background is corporate, so the workday starts at 9 and I'm gonna be there at 9:30 and it's not an issue. And the times that it was an issue, they try to check me and then it's like, I'll see you tomorrow at 9 mother effing 30. It's a corporate job. What the hell you mean? I don't clock in and clock out, the bleep. And when I have to clock in, clock out, apparently they are very strict. And I remember too, as a teenager, I didn't know, because again, I didn't know. I tried to clock in at a job. If, let's say my shift started at 2, I would clock in at like 1:45. I'm like, okay, I'm here, you know, whatever. Not supposed to do that either. Now I know y'all are laughing because you're like, duh. But that was news to me. So I got in trouble for that. I remember that. But I remember, again, after that whole thing, I was like, okay, so can't work here. Left. I think it's also interesting too, because I'm like, in an alternate life, in an alternate world, if I never worked corporate and I was always working jobs, or you do have to clock in and clock out, I wonder how many jobs I would have had. And I would have been like, okay, yeah, I'm done. It's a wrap for me. Nope. Hey, Spider. You said you're about to play Sims. Watch you play. Oh, perfect, Harris. That's cool. You've experienced that exact thing on a number of occasions, but it's difficult to say how to deal with it because every situation has its own special ball of insanity. Yes. He said, corporate America is rough. I feel you. I also work corporate. Last job was taking such a toll on me mentally and physically, so I quit. And you know, July, that's the thing too. It's like, listen, another thing about me is like, I don't know if this happens with y'all, but sometimes I like to forget my quirks and forget my patterns. And then I rediscover them as if they're new. I'm like, oh, this is this new revelation about who I am as a person. And all I gotta do is talk with my trusted loved one or check an old journal. And I'll be like, ooh, that's the same revelation I made like 3 years ago. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I've worked at this job for about a year. And I know based on my past patterns, I got about 6 months left in me. I got about 6 months left in me before things start getting real dicey for me. And I don't know what that looks like. So that means I need to start looking for a new job right now so that, you know, if it takes me 6 months to find a job for real, it'll be a smooth exit because we're at the point where I'm like, oh, I am like not good. And another thing I was just explaining too, I don't know if this is a neurodivergent thing. I don't know if this is just, I never got the actual training on this. I don't know if this is me being a Black woman in corporate America. There could be all these different ingredients, okay? And remember, I've never actually been diagnosed with any neurodivergent thing. I got half diagnosed one time and I didn't believe the psychologist who I was talking to and I was supposed to follow up, hadn't followed up. I've got insurance now, I should follow up. But all that to say, sometimes what I struggle with is feeling like how to talk to people when I'm feeling disrespected. There's a coworker that I have that sometimes I feel like I often have to ask her questions for clarity. And I feel like she comes back to me very dismissive or very much like, why are you asking me this? And I'm like, I'm asking you this because it's unclear. And it's not until I show her all my evidence that she's like, oh, okay. Like kind of treating me like I'm dumb. And that's a pet peeve of mine. So I want to say disrespectful things. And so either I say nothing and just wait for her to answer my question, or I'm rude as hell. I don't have that middle ground. I feel like that's always been my struggle because my struggle is the first thing I want to say is probably very, very rude and not professional or not very corporate, but then I can't come up with alternatives that could be corporate speak, but also kind of get across what I want to say. And out of fear of me saying something that will get me written up or fear of saying something that will give me backlash on the team and I become a pariah or fear of saying something and then I'll get fired because I'm not exactly sure what to say. That's not going to sound shitty. And if I have the time to like write out what I want to say or really think about it beforehand, if it's like a situation that like I have prepared for, that's one thing. It's just these constant little jabs. I feel like I get these constant little jabs at work. Plus, I feel like I'm doing the job of two people. And I have worked here just long enough to feel a little gaslit because at my last job, which I haven't worked for 2 years now, I'm like 2.5 years removed. Ooh, not my phone being on. My bad, sorry y'all. I'm 2.5 years removed from the previous job I had. But the amount of work I'm doing would never fall on just me in my last job. And I know that. But in this job, I'm doing the work of essentially two creatives, two designers. And I try to voice these concerns or I try to say something and I feel like it kind of falls on deaf ears. So I feel like people aren't listening to me. I feel like I'm vocalizing that I need help. I feel like I'm frustrated with the people who I work with and it leaves me feeling trapped. And so I'm sitting here like, if this was 10 years ago, 10 years ago, a younger version of me would have, and I know this because she did, quit without a follow-up job. An older version of me has experienced getting laid off and not being able to find a job for a year. So I feel like I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. this isn't for this space. This space is supposed to be fun and Sims related. I just thank you for listening. I just, like I said, I just got off the phone. That's why I was a little bit late, because I was sitting here just continuing to talk. But I'm like, I'm not doing well. I'm not doing well. And I'm like, it needs to be resolved. And I don't know how. And I don't want to be in a position where I don't have a job again for a year. But you best believe if I could walk away from this job right now, I would. I would have quit yesterday. I would have showed up this week. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done with this. But alas, I wasn't born rich. So here we are. Hey, Tawny. That was so me. My manager was not listening to any of my concerns, but then had the audacity to act shook when I put in my resignation. I don't think, and you know what's so funny, July? I don't think anybody will be shook when I finally get to put in that. Ooh, as soon as I put in my 2 weeks, I don't think anyone will be surprised. No one, based on my 1 year tenure here, no one is going to be surprised why I'm leaving. Everyone will be like, oh. And you know what really sucks? Truly, I don't think most of the people will even miss me when I'm gone. And that's what really hurts. I've worked here for a year, y'all, and I don't really have like, it's like I've worked here for a year and I could walk away and never hear from any of those people. And I don't think anybody would care. And that's also what's hard. Cause I'm like, I feel like there's a lot going on here and I've done a lot here and it doesn't even matter. And that also sucks. So it's like, I'm feeling disrespected, undervalued, overworked, unheard, and I feel just so lonely. And all of that together, I'm just like, this sucks. This is like the worst ingredients of corporate America. I've done all different flavors of corporate America for my industry that I work in as a graphic designer. I've done all different flavors of this, and this is so bad in a specific way. And I've worked for a damn narcissist. I worked for a narcissist and I had more emotional support in my job. And I'm not talking about, you know how everyone loves to throw around narcissists? No, that woman was not okay. She was not okay. She was a textbook
Super
emotional
chat
abuser.
from 616 in San Myshuno, which says, I keep telling myself I'm going to design my debut collection and ride off into the sunset from corporate.
616, thank you for the super chat. I might actually start crying. Thank you so much for the super chat. You keep telling yourself you're going to design your debut collection and ride off into the sunset from corporate. Please tell me, one, what you're designing, because I totally stand, and two, yes, it's so weird. Corporate is so weird. If you've never worked corporate, especially like corporate America, and you don't exactly know what I'm talking about, everybody has their job BS. So I'm not saying corporate is uniquely different from other job BS. That is not what I'm saying. What I will say is corporate is so strange because there's like an invisible rule book of how you can and cannot act. And some people are more motivated to follow the rule book and are more just naturally aligned with the rules, right? The rule book of corporate America is foundationally white, male, you know, that, and all the rest of the things, cis, thin, blah, blah, blah. All the things that make up the foundation of most of the problems of life. And so the further you deviate from the rule book, you know, the more adjusting you have to manually do to follow the rule book. But if you got any missing pages in your rule book, if your rule book is all worn and tattered, if no one handed you the rule book, you are lost. You are lost. And some of it comes from just working and you learn the different things you can and can't say and how to do and not to approach things. Some of it comes from people actually having your back and coaching you and what to do, which I realized last year. Yeah, because it's 2025. I realized last year when I saw with my own eyes, I was freelancing in this organization and I saw how supportive the boss was to one of her junior designers. And it made me realize, like, wow, I've never had that. I have never had that level of coaching and support in my roles ever. I have always had to figure it out by myself because either I moved into an organization that had some sort of creative leader, but then they got laid off and never got replaced with anyone. Or I got hired into roles where there was no senior creative leadership. Or I'm in a situation right like now where it's like my creative leadership basically doesn't have any say at this company. Like creatives, the value of creatives at the company I work for right now is zilch. And again, I know I'm kind of talking all over the place, like, because my job, more or less, like on paper it's art director, but in practice I'm basically a graphic designer. I design emails and websites for a retail company. That's what I've done. That's what I've done for the last 11 years. Jesus. That's another thing too. I think in the year 2025, in this, decade, in this century or whatever, you're not supposed to, they are expecting people to pivot every 10 or so years. So I'm like, I've already kind of reached my expiry date for this role, for this industry, for this kind of job anyway. I probably should be making a major pivot to something else. And then, hello, Sims. It sucks when you end up older than your coworkers and they're the ones that are actually supervising the work that you were hired to do that they don't even that they don't want to do. Ooh, that's rough. Hey Taylor. Hey Maddie. Corporate is a special kind of hell. You said never worked corporate America, never mind. Never worked corporate, never mind corporate America. Sounds like hell. And like I said, I know every job has its own hell. I don't know about the specific retail hells. I don't know about specific restaurant hells. I don't know about like a lot of customer service hells. I don't know about I know every job has their hells. I just know about this version of corporate America hell. And when I tell you, it's just, and I think that's another thing too. It's like, I imagine you have more success if you have to have a day job. I think some people have more success and feel just more satisfied. Not like your job. I know one of the things about Americans is that we find a lot of personal pride and personal value in our jobs, which I know that other countries are like, what the hell is wrong with Americans? I don't know what to tell you. I think it's rooted in slavery. The whole thing is just messed up. But Americans find a lot of who their personal worth is, their worth as a person, in their jobs. So foundationally, culturally, we're already screwed. And then on top of that, so if I even separate that, I just think that even if you don't want to take like your whole worth by your job, I think sometimes people can have a better success about not having their job be the thing that draws everything out of who they are as a person, if it just is more aligned with how they like do life. I still believe there is a job that I could do that even if it wasn't like my personal worth as a person, it just wouldn't feel like this. I shouldn't be coming to my stream where we're supposed to have fun. We're supposed to be having fun. But I was like, honestly, y'all, this is where I'm at. I'm dysregulated. And I can't. And if I bring this to my corporate job, my boss is just going to shrug like, yeah, I hear you. Anyway, so that deadline, the book is invisible now, but it didn't used to be. I'm telling you, they used to actually teach a class when I was in high school about how to do everything from dressing to how to speak to people. Hearing you say that this is not an education that you were able to come by in your regular school experience, to me is shocking and horrifying, but it also explains a lot. You've been away from the education system for a long time, even though you live really close to a college campus. So Roger, I will say that it's so funny. My college did actually teach me certain things, right? Like, but to your point, it wasn't like mandatory. It was just elective because I was interested in it. And it wasn't a class. It was like the career center would host different things. So, and I'm laughing because I remember this being like, for me, a coveted thing. They would always have this like formal dinner, like maybe once or twice a year, they would do a formal dinner to teach you how to eat at a formal dinner and like which forks and stuff to use and like how to butter your bread, all those sorts of things, like order of courses and stuff. It was actually really cool. I laugh because the only reason why I was even trying to go for real was because of you would get good free food. You had to, I don't remember if it was like a selection process or if you had to sign up and then once they hit like a, cutoff of like 75 or whatever, like that was it. So I was always real pressed to make sure I signed up for that because I was like, oh yeah, because they got the good food at that event, so I remember that. And there's a chance that when I was in high school, they kind of taught us how to dress. Like they taught us that, or it may have been college, where they kind of taught you what business casual is, what business professional is. And I'm like, I remember those things, but the actual interpersonal parts of things and like that's kind of like, I was thinking about that recently about like the idea of like group projects. Like I remember hating group projects as a kid. I did not like group projects. I always thought that the way that work was distributed was never really right. And like the success of your grade always depended on whether or not your group got along. But I thought about it recently, like literally in the last week, and I was like, wow, you know what? Actually, they don't explicitly say that part of the benefit of or part of the thing that you're learning in a group project is how to work with people. They don't ever say that. They just do the super group project thing, and as a kid or as a teen or as a young adult, you're just like, this is dumb. But I'm like, now I can see like, oh my God, all those skills of like how to talk to people who aren't doing their job, or how to talk to people when you don't feel supported, or how to advocate for yourself in situations where it's like, you know, this is how we think we should do the work. Like all of that sort of stuff that's kind of what those soft skills that they're supposed to be teaching you in that process. But what do you do when you're working on a group project and you feel like institutionally you don't have any support? You know, like someone in your project, someone in your group isn't doing their part, or you know, the part that you said you were gonna do, they're trying to do, and that was part of I don't know, right? But so yeah, so some of the things that you're talking about, they did teach, but some of it, nah, they didn't teach everything. You said most places used to hand you a book. Yeah, no, I ain't never got no book, not for real. Nah, I wasn't no book. Let me scroll down. You said pivot and NMS, thank you. All the corporate America articles are talking about how job hugging is real because the market is trash, but so is the workplace. Maddie, yes. Hey, Sydney, you're not late. You're kind of watching me try to recover from an almost crash out. Koya, you said, we don't mind. I'm trying to jump back and forth. We don't mind. Vent all you need. Thank you. Prior to having to stay home with my kids, you were always like, FTJ, but I also understand where you're coming from. Listen, if I could, I think what I need is a plan. If I could write down a plan, like, hey girl, this is how you're going to get out of corporate America. It's been on my list of things to do, honestly. I would love to quit my job. I'm a teacher and you're tired. These pandemic children are awful. No, that's terrible. That's terrible to hear. Oh my gosh. That's how I felt too, and the team was very cliquey. I felt like I never fit in. Being one of the only 2 Black people on the team didn't help. July, exactly. I think that too. I'm like, God, I clearly don't fit in here. Hey, oh, Sydney, you're bouncing back and forth. Okay. You left corporate for teaching, and they're both hellish in different ways. Yeah, you know, I used to fantasize about being a teacher, but then the more I've heard about like, just the nonsense with the administration and just you can't actually teach. Like it doesn't sound like teachers can actually teach. It sounds like they just have to help kids memorize stuff for tests. That's no fun. That is no fun. Yeah, those were all optional stuff in senior year. Yeah, you've heard children nowadays are unhinged. Yeah, I can only imagine. You hated group projects too. I didn't understand why you lost points for not getting your group to work as a team. It was always my Black teachers that docked me for it, and it felt like they were picking on me. I understand it now and wish they would have explained it to me then. You know what? And I agree. There's a lot of like what they think is coaching that felt like you're being picked on. You know what I mean? Like they think that they're helping you. They think they're doing it in a specific way, and they're paying specific attention to you because they're trying to toughen you up. And it's just like, maybe I didn't need that actually. Maybe I didn't need you poking holes in my confidence and security. Maybe I needed you to build me up in a different way. We actually had to do mock interviews where we were getting interviewed as well as giving interviews. And that was a big part of our test. Wow, none of that was required, Roger. I don't remember any of this stuff being required for me. I remember all of it kind of being optional. Just know we value and appreciate you for all you do. Your light shines bright. Don't dim it for those cardboard boxes. Thank you. I appreciate you. Taylor, you said, when I was a teacher, I said that all the time. We have to work with people we don't like / know well / agree with all the time. And I always told students this. And you know what? That is probably, I mean, considering they're students, they probably didn't listen. But somebody heard that, and that will come up for them in like 15 years. It'll like click in 15 years. And that's what'll be annoying, because you'll be like, I wish it would have clicked in the class. But one of them students out of probably the hundreds you've taught, one of them will be grateful you said that. Some of the places want to pretend that they have better culture than they do, and it's toxic as hell. Hey, Nick. Hey, Wesley. Oh, wait. Let me scroll up here. You finally got one after 2 years. Ah, congrats. Me knowing, it's so funny because me be like, I hate this job. Oh, you got a job. Congratulations. I love that. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm glad to hear that. You said, yeah, all your teacher friends are hitting that right now. You said you were a teacher for 6 years and you took on 2 high needs foster kids about 2 years ago, and you have no career goals now. Took a huge pay cut and work from home on a dumb job that's pointless. But it's amazing to see how the office works and how they pretend to be a family, but they aren't. Oh no, a family is definitely a red flag for me. That narcissist boss I work for used to love pretending like we were a family. And I was like, this lady is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Oh, Lord. Well, again, you said you should disclose that you went to high school. You don't have to disclose nothing, Roger. I think you saying that is very much like, yeah, this is the difference. The difference is, nope, all those things that they used to teach and make sure that people knew, no, they're not teaching that in school. They're not, especially not high school. High school, the last kind of thing that was kind of like teaching you how to be a person that I remember in my public school education was like middle school. It's like that's when I started phasing out that sort of thing, like officially. It had already been kind of phased out, but like they were definitely phasing it out by the time I was in middle school. So yeah, by the time I was getting to high school, absolutely not. If I was learning any of that stuff, it was because of an elective, okay? Or like my parents, sure, right? But I mean, like in school, no. No, they're not actively teaching you that. Or like Sydney said about the about a Black teacher picking on me, right? Like, and not picking on me, but like deciding to single me out and I was their project kind of thing, right? Like that's how I was getting that stuff until I went to college. And then in college, they were very specific about teaching those sorts of things. But I noticed where they taught those skills were not in places that were required for students to go. It was essentially all elective activities, whether it's a one-off activity or like a one-off credit. Like I remember having to take a 1-credit class on some of this stuff, like, but it wasn't because I had to learn it for my education or I wasn't getting through. Like, no. Oh, teaching assistant. Oh, awesome. So funny, all griping about teaching. Hey, get it where you can. You said this is why we have Sims to escape. And you know what else too? Ooh, you said you don't teach it. It feels like you're managing behaviors. Ooh, that's real as well. And you love teaching. Yeah, the high school that I went to, if you didn't pass the career decision making class, they wouldn't let you graduate That ultimately changed, but at the time when you were there, that was very much it. Wow, that is so, I mean, I also think that's a reflective of like changing cultures over time, you know, changing values over time. That being said, a la Sims. So somebody, oh my God, Mildred!
Super chat from Mildred, which says, hi. I rewatched Winter's World. Have you thought about writing your own challenge? I love how you play The Sims.
Mildred! Thank you for the super chat! Oh my God, that is reminding me, I did have a good cry this weekend. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. Life has been a lot. But yeah, I cried. Oh yeah, I literally cried on a friend's shoulder and it was great. But man, that was a real big cry. Have I thought of writing my own challenge? Kind of like how SimSega did the Soul Food Legacy Challenge. I have not seriously thought about writing my own challenge. It has come up here every now and then. No. And now I appreciate the compliment, but I just kind of feel like I am playing Sims either the way other people play it, or I'm kind of just testing out other challenges, because I've said before, and this is going to change. I think at either by the end of this year, I'll probably start a legacy challenge, but it'll be like the Nightmare Legacy, like the short lifespan legacy challenge to help get me through. Cause you know, I hit that generation 3 and I'm like, I'm attached. You know, I got that one save where the parents died and I'm technically on like the 2nd or 3rd generation and it is falling apart, you know? So yeah, some of the challenges, I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, what would that look like? You were in high school in the early 2000s, talking with my younger friends. I think I was the last class that the career assemblies were even options. See, and that, I think that does sound right to me. You're excited. Your loading screen's loading up. Okay, cool. You said it's healthy to have a cry when you need it. And I did. And did. and did need it actually. So yeah, at some point I think I'm not gonna force the conversation around like starting a challenge or creating a challenge for me. I think what I'm hoping is that it will organically come up just as I continue to play Sims, especially as I continue to play on stream and for the channel. Like if I kind of think of something that could be fun, you know, or a storytelling element of it or whatever, like, you know, I'd be willing to try something. But I think my challenges might lean on something that might be a little bit on the quicker side versus, you know, generations and generations. Hey girl, hey, it's Jade. Oh my gosh, hey. Oh, you're working on the future. Jade! Hey! Okay, now I see. Thank you for saying hello. Because I'm like, okay, I see the username now. Okay, great. Yeah, so Jade is working on the future challenge. But you've been writing that. See, that's the other thing too, and you can let me know, because I feel like people who write challenges are very careful to like really make sure they're crafting the world, the story, testing to make sure the things that they're doing really make sense. Because I feel like you've been working on that for a while, because yours sounds like it's detailed. And I know Nick, you had a whole list of challenges and stuff you were working on. I don't know where you are with that, but it seems like anyone who I've heard kind of, even Lil Simsy created a new challenge, that very veggie thing, and I looked at that document and I was like, respect it. It's not even about, it's not, I don't mean to disrespect. I just was like, yeah, she was working on this. She was working on this for a minute. Are we already in the middle of a challenge? Rather, you are already in the middle of a challenge. Yeah, like we're doing Tiny Town, but that wasn't something I wrote. You said you talk to me on the screen all the time. Okay. You said we're ready for when you decide to leave corporate and take those design skills and give us some merch and custom art. That's what CC and custom art, and that's what I need to be doing. I put in my banner for my YouTube channel that I make CC because it's coming. It's on my list. It's on the list of things to do. Which, okay, so talking about Sims, thank you all for giving me the space to chat and for giving me your perspectives, because sometimes I think that's also, last thing I guess I'll say about this is that you know, I'm in the same environment, talking to the same people, doing the same thing. I'm gonna just say for myself, the last 5 years. And I think that also has contributed to just an underlying feeling of stagnation, because a lot about my core life has been the same for the last 5 years. And I can tell I'm outgrowing it, and there are growing pains, and I have to make decisions on what I'm going to be doing next. You know, I know all of that is happening. That's my own personal thing. That's my own personal life. So you don't need to comment on my personal life, but I guess what I'll share is, if you too are feeling stagnant, frustrated, just kind of like confined, trapped is a word I've been using recently. I think that's also coming from, you're just probably outgrowing your situation. And you have to decide to make decisions that align with your next move rather than where you currently are. And I think that's kind of where I'm at. I'm a little bit in the space of like, I'm tired of doing the same thing for the last 5 years. It's kind of like when they say, you know, does someone have 10 years of experience, or do they have 1 year of experience 10 times? I feel like I'm in my phase of like, I feel like I've got 3 to 4 years of experience, like 2 or 3 times at this point. I'm running the same things over and over and over again. I'm bored. I'm bored and I'm frustrated. That's why I'm like, you're not gonna disrespect me. I've done this too often and too long. Hella trapped. Yes, exactly. You said you really think I'd be able to do one. It's not as bad as you think. You pick one role and scenario and you meet those goals. Okay, all right, I'll think about it then. If you guys are saying that it's not too bad. I wish there was more challenges that aren't legacy themed, other than a Black Widow Rex Riches. Yes, exactly. Tiny Town is not legacy themed, if you haven't done that one yet. If your situation doesn't remain compelling, it will compel you to change it. Whether you're not actually able to do that, it's always a neat trick. I think I misread that. Absolutely, there's something that I'm waiting on that I'll teleport once it's finally here. Nightmare Legacy is up your alley. Your Sims are always going through it. Wow. Okay, Mildred. That was crazy to add there at the end. Okay, so there's been a lot of things. So obviously my life has looked a little bit weird these last few days, but that's meant that we didn't get to talk about the trailer. So I think that there's been conversation about the trailer happening in Discord. The way I haven't even been able to dial in on that, okay? They also released a laundry list today, which I haven't looked at, so we can look at that. They released the quality of life roadmap. So there's kind of like a lot happening right now. And you guys would be proud of me though, because I did finally manage, the way that this means nothing to y'all, but it will mean something to y'all when the video's out. There's been this video that I've been meaning to work on this whole time. I've been writing a script, blah, blah. I recorded it last night, baby! It's recorded. I started editing it. I'm hoping it'll be out Thursday, I think, because I'm like, if I can work on it tomorrow, it can be out Thursday, it can be done. I probably have a few more hours to work on it for like editing purposes, but in it, I'm talking about all my opinions about The Sims 4 right now. But I'm just so happy because you're always, I'm constantly learning new skills in this whole content creation thing. And let me tell you, I wrote a script and I was like, how am I going to read the script without looking like I'm reading? I need a teleprompter. How am I going to make that work? Did a little bit of YouTube, did a little bit of Googling. I shouldn't even say Google anymore. Do we even stand Google? Let me not even say that because Google owns YouTube. Did a little bit of web searching. Did a little bit of web searching on a video platform. Learned how to make my own teleprompter, more or less. This, in case y'all want to make videos where you read a script, but you don't have a few $100s to drop on a teleprompter, or...
Super chat from Nick. John, which says read above. Heart.
First of all, the little robot doesn't know present versus past tense or whatever. Read above, I will. Thank you, Nick, for the super chat. All right, let me see. You said, I'm talking about the challenge I sent you a while back. Okay, hold on, wait. Because my scrolling thing is a little bit weird. But also, if you manage to, you manage Chinatown, you could probably manage all three. Wait, all three of the scenarios you're talking about? I'm waiting for the new pack to do the underground city, but I think you're about to start playing the other side of town. Okay. Yes. No, yeah, because I remember you sent me all these challenges a while ago. You can post a challenge in Discord if you want to say, yeah, post about it in Discord. That's what the Discord is for. To share ideas and stuff. You can make your own teleprompter with just a few household items, okay? Now, I'm not even saying like, oh, because if teleprompters are kind of expensive, but I also was kind of like, hey, listen, if I got one video that I want to read the script off of and I never do a scripted video again, I'm not dropping $300 on a teleprompter, right? So I made this. Okay. It's a binder. It's literally a binder with a picture frame glass cut into it, and then the binder clips are on here because you're supposed to take it's just so funny. If you search on YouTube the video of how to make a DIY teleprompter, you will find the video that I watched to learn how to make this. And you basically take these, this is supposed to be, the guy used a wire hanger. I didn't have a wire hanger. So I bought like jumbo paper clips and unfolded. This is how big the jumbo paper clip is. Anyway, you lock these into the binder clips, and then you have like the glass here. And basically I was able to put my iPad here, use the teleprompter app, a free teleprompter app, and it reflects onto the glass. So I can read while looking at the camera. It's really cool. But then I had to do a whole thing where I had to figure out how to prop this up, because as you see, if I flip it up here, you can see like the glass and the window in my screen and stuff. So I have to I had to rearrange things so you can't see it. So it was pretty dope because it did work. And it was a lot of I don't know. It just is kind of funny putting it together. I was just like, okay, this better work. I had my screens precariously pushed off to the side so I could try to figure out how to do it, but it worked. So yeah, I feel like in my mind, I'm like, what's the investment? I gotta make 10 scripted videos. If after 10 videos, and they gotta be within I don't know, 3 to 6 months of each other. If I'm making one scripted video every 6 months, I'm not getting a teleprompter. You know what I mean? But if I'm doing this multiple times, multiple times a month. I'm constantly trying to whip out my little janky little binder so I could read a script, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, you need a teleprompter, girl, you know? And I can say for that. Ooh, create, exactly, Koya, thank you. Women in STEM, exactly. But you said this whole contraption has me cackling. It was a contraption. It did work though. That's what I was surprised. You said you should stand the ingenuity. I was like, there's got to be a way for me to make this, because I didn't want to be like, what I didn't want to do is be reading, and then trying to remember what I just read to say it. I was like, there's got to be an app. And then I was mad too, because the teleprompter app, I wanted it to move as I spoke. So I was trying to get an app that, like, as I was reading it, it would move. And then the one I tried didn't work. And then they wanted me to pay extra for all these extra features. I figured it out. That's the point. The point is I figured it out. And it doesn't look like I'm reading that often. Like, every now and then I can tell like I'm reading. And I think that, like, if you guys watch the video, you'll see that it looks like I'm reading, but sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time it looks like I'm just talking, which I'm like, that's really cool. That's what teleprompters are for. Maybe you can consider taking a corporate America job in engineering. That sounds like hell, July. Now, why would you say that? That sounds like absolute garbage. I think there's also some industries that I might have a little too much personality for. You know, like I was thinking like, oh, could I be in IT? I'm like, I don't think so. I think IT folks are generally more reserved and they kind of don't like people. Like, is there a job where I could be the mouthpiece for the IT folks? That could be something, you know, like if I'm the job that filters in the request that comes into IT, but that's usually done by the computer. He said, if you guys watch the video, girl, you know, we're watching everything put out. Well, you know what I mean. Okay, so there's a lot going on. Let's look at this laundry list real quick, because I am curious about this. We'll look at the quality of life roadmap. We'll go back and we'll kind of look at the gameplay trailer, because I think there were some things that I wanted to call out. Let me just do like that. Okay. Because I didn't even make a video on that. And I'm like, I should. I don't know if I'm going to though, because there's a lot happening this week even. Because I think we're getting the update in like 2 days. Okay. You said right as soon as it posts. You are so funny. Okay, so let me see if I can. What I'm trying to do is make sure this is going to transition to the right place. Okay, here we go. Okay, I think this is right. You can't see. And I guess I'll record this just in case. Okay. You said union rep. Okay. I'm recording this, Lee, so when I come back to this, union rep. Look into being a union rep, maybe. You said you've been fighting with life since the last update. Well, we've got another one coming up, okay? I only know that from the quality of life roadmap. They made a whole thing. I don't know. I think everything that's going on right now with The Sims in the game is very interesting. So for the laundry list, as of September 16th, for the update, I'm assuming that comes out in 2 days, which I also just think is like, wow. It says, welcome to the laundry list, where we share the top community concerns that we're currently investigating and hope to resolve. This is only a list of top topics with upcoming fixes. There are more topics reported by players that are not listed here, but are still being worked on. Then they said, did you catch our update on the reported save file issues with For Rent? We're dedicating more resources to investigate related issues, and some issues require additional information from affected players to make progress in our investigations. If you're affected by issues that prevent you from loading a save or even The Sims 4 at all, please read over our article here, and they have it here. All right. So this is the list of top community concerns that we're investigating for our next update. Again, this was released on September 16th, but then in this article, which I'll get to in a second, that was released on September 15th, so yesterday for me, they say that we're going to be getting a base game update for PC and Mac on the 18th. So I can only assume that this that's posted today, all of these reports are what they're anticipating fixing in the release that comes out on Thursday. So for base game, Sims with the entrepreneurial trait experience sudden jumps in career level. You know, I did not realize that the entrepreneurial skill was base game. The venue info icon in build mode will not stop shining when there's nothing new to display. A sim writing a book can't resume it properly after being interrupted by another sim to socialize. I feel like this has been around forever. 2 years, it says. I don't know. I feel like it's been around so long that I almost thought that this was a feature. Sims always sit to drink water. Again, this is another one of those bugs that it gets to a point for me where I'm like, is this not a feature? Musical chairs. Okay. Sims constantly change seats. Example, Sim is already sitting in a chair or on a bed. You then tell your Sim to read a book or do their homework. Now, I would expect the Sim who's already sitting to just stay there and do the next action, but 9 times out of 10, they get up and sit back down. So that doesn't match Sims always sit to drink water. Is that me? These feel like two different things. So I'm concerned about this. I didn't even realize some of these were bugs. That's what I'm saying. I didn't realize that. Okay. Interaction progress, like cooking or writing, starts from the beginning after loading. Okay. What does this mean? Write song, book, lyric. Okay, there's no way these are linked the way that these are supposed to be linked. There's no way. Because sudden career jump. Okay, that maybe makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. But like, the interaction progress looks like the sim not resuming a book properly. No, I guess not. I don't know what that. They must have been able to identify what is triggering the issue that somebody is reporting on. Maybe that's what's going on. But again, I don't know if I realized that this was a bug. Because this said, for years I noticed that your sim could write half a book and stop, but when I have them resume the same book, it starts from the start. They can only write a book in one sitting with no breaks. Okay. All right. Last exception triggers and Sims reset when exiting a changing table. Some jeans are displaying white color for masculine Sims. Duplicate swatch shown for a door. The holiday menu closes when switching between Sims. Oh. Is that not supposed to happen? Since the 527 patch, I can't consecutively click on Sims in the household to see what they need to complete in the way of traditions. If I open up the menu with one Sim, when I click the Sim icon for the next household member, the menu needs to be reopened. Some of y'all are better than me. The writing one is so annoying. Okay, agreed. Hey, gamer. You said no, that doesn't match. It's not just you. You said, what did you say, Koya? Let me go up. It's an entrepreneurial trait from base game rewards tab. Oh, like the one that gets you quicker work performance, not the skill that's from high school years. Okay. I wish the high school year graduation report I made over a year ago would have been on the laundry list. Hey, you said, how am I doing today? You know what? I'm doing good now. Now that I've connected with the chat, I'm doing good. Okay, and so then swatch for one of these wall planks doesn't match when it's placed. Okay, affecting multiple packs. Skill cheats cannot be used to lower skill. Oh, eyeglasses look like sunglasses. Now. Okay, now listen. This has been archived from 7 months ago. Oh, status laundry list. Okay. Yeah, that's so funny. Again, that's one of those things that I was like, oh, maybe I was just wrong. Some wall mailboxes appear under miscellaneous appliances instead of trash cans and mailboxes. Some of the Privy Bush interaction is not available for Vampire and Fairy Child Sims. Some fireplaces project light from fire backwards. Okay. For Enchanted by Nature, fertilize all crops interaction is not functional on oversized crop plants with oversized crop fertilizer. Gnome brought to life for upgrades and repairs, keeps upgrading toilets with composting container leading to toilets catching fire. I just think it's funny because I feel like everyone has to do that wrong at least once. If you like upgrading stuff, you got to do that at least once, and then you know. But yeah, still though, the gnome shouldn't be doing that. Okay, so for businesses and hobbies, there's a wallpaper that's not showing up when it's being filtered. For life and death, the sink and the kitchen sink cannot be slotted at the top. Oh wait, objects can't be slotted at the top. Actually, I think I noticed this when we were trying to build for Billy and Mandy. I did notice that I couldn't slot some soap into one of those sinks. So yeah, okay. Again, I don't even think of it as a bug. I'm just like, why did they do this on purpose? You know what I mean? Like nail paint creates a texture glitch on t-shirts. And another top. Child Sims don't show up as ghosts when they die due to overheat and freezing. Ooh, I may have noticed that too. Okay, so Love Struck, not all color tags are applied to the Canopy Dreams and Drape Desires objects. For rent, tenant events are resolved as a failure even after the property owner fixes what needed to be fixed on a tenant slot. That's it. They have whatever. Okay. Growing together, smooth sail diaper pail trash cans don't snap to the changing station. Starry-eyed collection banquet table should be present in bars instead of dining tables. I may have also noticed this. Maybe. You know, because I'd be throwing parties and stuff. So I may have noticed that. But again, it's not bugs. These are things that they did on purpose that I don't agree with. This list is essentially misplaced clutter, build by items, clipping for cast pieces, and what they probably deem the easiest fixes of all the thousands of EA reports. I was definitely expecting more, but hopefully November touches on what's really breaking our games, which we'll get to. Bike pedals don't align for the Discover University bikes. Oh, I missed that. Piercings from the Eco Lifestyle expansion pack have 2 identical bronze color swatches, but one of them is gold. I have noticed that, so yes. Okay, so color swatches, legal files are miscategorized. Pets get deformed when traveling to another lot after aging up. Oh, okay. Blue hair swatches displays as brown when placed. When selecting gray swatches for the object, the wormwood color is applied instead. Daring Hall tree miscategorized under decorations. Yeah, I'm trying to see. Yeah, different color swatches. Nails aren't tagged for a masculine frame for the Sweet Slumber Party. Okay. After all these things, they say our team continues to investigate other community concerns for future fixes. Please note that some topics can be complicated to replicate and require an extended investigation on our end. So even though we are actively reviewing, it's not a guarantee that we'll have an immediate fix for it in the upcoming patch. This includes the following top voted issues. 1, this is not multiple issues. We'll also be releasing a partial fix related to animations when Sims look at phones, though the main eyelid issues discussed in the thread are still under investigation by the team. Oh, talking about if you click on that. Please follow Sims Direct on Twitter and our Discord community, where we will provide more updates when possible. Very interesting laundry list. Very interesting because they released the quality of life roadmap. Now, I will say, I did not talk about the leaked roadmap for real. I didn't show it. Because I was hoping that if it was real or if it was legit or whatever, that they would actually share it. So if you I'm just having this moment where I'm like, okay, I haven't gone back to look at it, basically. So these dates might align with whatever was on that. If you guys know, I'll kind of be checking to see if you guys say anything. But like, that is not what I was expecting. They haven't done anything like this before, I don't think. If they've released a sort of quality of life roadmap situation before, let me know. The last closest thing I can remember is when they originally announced that they were gonna have that bug fixing team. And when was that? Let me see. Gosh, stop with the AI. Oh, great. And now all of this stuff is gonna be about what they just said. I think it was maybe, I'm gonna say two years ago. Oh, a year ago. I'm looking for the article. That's no way. I feel like time is going by so slowly. Okay, so let me look at this. Do they have that in here? So I'm sorry. I'm like, it's weird going back in time looking at these. And I did not mention this in my video. So they shared this on Twitter. All right, let me share my screen. So they shared this on Twitter back on May 23rd, 2024. Oh, thanks, Koya. I'm just looking at your message. Which I would have thought it was longer ago, which is so crazy. I think it was just May of last year. I would have said February of 2023 for whatever reason, but that doesn't mean anything, I guess. To our community, we know that technical issues with The Sims 4 have interrupted your gameplay over time, and we recognize that this has caused you much frustration. Oh. Okay. Today we can share that we have assembled a team to invest in the core game experience, including tackling your reported concerns. This newly formed and focused team means we'll be able to increase both the number of fixes and the frequency with which we ship these batch updates. Our first release is scheduled for the next patch later this month, with others following roughly every 2 months. The details of this month's release are in the laundry list, which is available on the newsroom. Additionally, we'll continue making core improvements to the performance of The Sims 4. Our next patch will include some optimizations across platforms so the game uses less memory. As a result, you may experience fewer crashes, a better frame rate, and/or more responsive simulation. Thank you for continuing to play and invest in The Sims 4. Our team is more dedicated than ever to developing great The Sims 4 gameplay experiences into the foreseeable future. And we appreciate your support as these critical improvements roll out. So that was May 2024. So as of September 2025, so a year and some change later. Soul Simmers, our top priority is to provide a fun, positive experience for all players. We see your feedback on technical issues and game performance, and we want to assure you that your concerns are heard. Today, we're sharing the steps we're taking to double our efforts, ensuring Simmers have the best experience possible with The Sims 4. Do you get deja vu? Over the next 8 weeks, our dedicated teams will dive in to resolve current issues and get ahead of unforeseen technical disruptions. Here's what the next couple of months will look like for The Sims 4. Okay, I'm gonna take a brief pause because I did skim this, so I haven't read it, through through and through. But I will say, reading it side by side with that message from May 2024 is giving very much spooky copy paste. It's giving very much spooky copy paste. It's giving spooky copy paste. Now, okay, even though I thought it was a long time ago, it clearly wasn't. It was like a year ago. It's like, is it, Koya, you said it was the May one. Let me pause this recording. You said it was the May 20, there wasn't an earlier one? Okay. The reason why I'm hesitating is because after they made the announcement in, I guess, May of 2024, even though I swear there was an earlier one, I guess there wasn't, there were consistent updates, which I do find it so funny because the community, of course, was getting so frustrated by having to update the mods, all the extra things. But they did do what they said. They did come out consistently with new updates over the, I guess, every 2 months or whatever. Even this article, which I'm about to get into, is technically on that same cadence, which I almost wish that the patches were more frequent, but I know that the Sims community is losing their mind as is with the frequency of patches. But they have, it's so funny, they have technically done the things that they said that they were going to do. They did release patches that they said were supposed to improve performance. Unfortunately for me as a player, in the time since they made that announcement back in May of 2024, I have gone from playing on a Mac to playing on a PC, and I can't prove it, but I still swear I get more crashing on The Sims on my PC, which is supposed to be a really nice PC, than I ever did on my Mac. I can't totally prove it, but I swear most of the time before this year, not most of the time, when I was streaming the game, y'all, I was streaming from my Mac up until this year. I don't remember my game crashing a whole bunch. Maybe it crashed once or twice, but for the most part, it didn't really crash. I'm like knocking on wood. I'm sure someone probably was like, actually, I just watched XYZ stream and it was crashing all the time. But like before, what, this summer is when I got my PC? Before this summer, maybe late spring of this year, I don't remember experiencing crashes for real. Since I've gotten this computer, which is, like I said, it's supposed to be real nice or whatever, I have been getting crashes on this game. And so I'm like, I think most people play on PC specifically, not Mac, not console. Most people play on PC. Something is happening. Something is going on with Windows, with Intel, maybe with AMD. I don't have AMD, I have Intel. Something is happening. They are not talking nice because my Mac was running my game just fine. Or so I thought. I don't know. Let me go back to this article. Okay, so there's gonna be hold on, wait, let me read y'all's comments. You said you kind of forgot about this because you don't recall anything changing after this announcement. I do remember they released the updates when they said they were going to. I feel like it started tapering off. I feel like maybe at the start of this year is when things started getting weird, which is weird because again, I would have thought that was 2 years ago. And then at the start of last year is when things started getting weird, but apparently that's not true. Was there not something after Growing Together came out? Did they not make an announcement then? Like, that's what's so crazy to me. Anyway, they said here, damn. All words, let's be fair. Ooh. Is it just because Sims 5 is not happening? Listen, that's all coming up tomorrow, y'all. Or not tomorrow, whenever I release it. It didn't. I just watched all of Tiny Town 1 and you only had one crash and a couple freezes. Okay, see, that's what I mean. And I know since this summer, this game has crashed a couple of times on stream. Have they ever acknowledged what happened to the pack refresh idea? Never. 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 My bad, I pressed the wrong button. I said never. Never, never. They have never talked about pack refreshes. And like I said, it was basically like, it's like a fever dream. It's like a fever dream. It never happened. Never talked about pack refreshes again. Never bring it up. I don't know what's going on. You said, considering the way they keep gaslighting us as if they don't know what the problems are that we've been trying to get them to address, I don't hold out much hope for this laundry list helping. They're doing it again. They've acting like they don't know we have been sending them lists for years. These are not the main issues that people have been after them about for years. They have never went directly addressed the fact that the base of the game itself is so broken and so difficult for them to put on top of stuff. It's been said by lots of other people who code that this is the case, but Sims has never come out and said so. They use the word leak to make it sound like it's a conspiratorial thing. I'm gonna tell y'all, I don't know for sure, okay? The audio did not cut out, y'all. I pressed the mute button. I muted myself. I pressed the button, I muted myself. Right, I thought she was censoring herself. You said, oh, she's going off, but I can't hear her. Yeah, that was my bad. My bad! Listen to me. I don't know for sure. I will say, in my personal opinion, those leaks are not a marketing ploy. And I do find it funny when people say that, because I'm like, no. Maybe it's a marketing ploy for somebody. I don't think it's a marketing ploy for the people who are marketing the game. He said that's what I thought too. He thought I was going all the way off. I was like, let me not even make it so they can hear me. Yeah, I don't know. I have. Oh, that's what I said. That video, when it comes out, some of y'all are gonna cuss me out after. All right, I'm prepared. He said, class action lawsuit, just saying. You said maybe Max are having problems too this summer. Something is happening. They are doing stuff. They made that announcement. They did release the updates, but I remember there was rumors about them getting rid of that team at some point. So it felt like it dipped, and now we're dipping back up because now they're giving us a quality of life roadmap, which is interesting because the leak of the roadmap would have you believe they had a whole marketing plan planned out. And somewhere along the line, they decided to pivot the messaging or whatever. So now it's quality of life roadmap. On September 18th, PC and Mac players can expect a base game update. Of the things that I just read, doesn't seem like a lot's going on. We are pulling forward the release from its originally scheduled launch to allow additional time for us to quickly identify and address any potential issues that may take place across players' various setups and game configurations. This also provides space for mod creators to update their content prior to the launch of Adventure Awaits. Before the game update, we will release our files in the Discord for those who need time to support and maintain any mods or custom content, which great. I don't understand what those files are. People who mod and code and do all that stuff understand what those files are. But again, for me, let me not do too much. They're giving us a date. They gave us some notice. September 18th. If you play with mods, now is the time to back up your game. Now is the time to back up your game. Now is the time to back up your mods. We have this notice. Go ahead and get everything prepared, because when the update comes through, make sure that if you don't want to update your game, that the update is turned off. Make sure it's turned off, right? The automatic updates. Sometimes it be updating anyway. I told you I don't remember having those problems on my Mac. On PC, it does kind of feel like I have to double check that that setting is the way that I want it to be. So on the off chance that your stuff updates anyway, make sure you have your stuff backed up, right? But they're given time because Adventure Awaits comes out October 2nd. I was like, whoa. So, okay, here we go. So it comes out October 2nd, which means they're giving 2 weeks, which to me sounds like they can release the update on the 18th. If things go absolutely awry, they can release an e-fix between the 18th and the, 25th. I guess the 18th and whatever, but like, and then there's still a week before the expansion pack comes out. Console players will see this update on the 23rd after it goes through additional verification, since PC and Macs will be on a newer game version until the update on PlayStation and Xbox. Console players will need to use that filter in the gallery until they receive the update, which is crazy. I don't know how. I feel like that's a little messy. And also, I guess that means that they're staggering to help troubleshoot. If there's issues with PCs and Macs, they can focus on that, and then they can go back and try to support console. I don't know. I don't know anything about that process, so I'm just guessing. October 2nd, thank you. He said, yes, you have auto updates turned all the way off. Yeah, it updates anyway. I'm telling you, that's why I said, go ahead and back up things. Already made copies just in case. Yes. You said you're trying to find the X post now from the guru because it was at least 2 years ago, but I do remember them getting a lot of backlash for basically saying that more refreshes would be great because it gave that they were saying it basically just sounds good, but it wouldn't likely happen. I don't know why. And see, this is why the gurus don't talk as much. And when they do talk, it seems like now they're only going to talk in the Discord because people don't know how to act. It's not up to the gurus. It's not up to the Sims team. And if you worked corporate America, you know where it comes from. My job just made a crazy decision that had nothing to do with anybody who actually works directly with folks would have done. Okay, so somebody was driving by with loud music. So then they say September 2025 community prioritized fixes. We're investigating and resolving issues based on votes in the Sims 4 bug report section of EA forums. Player upvotes are crucial in prioritizing fixes, and we're doubling down efforts to focus on the most impactful issues players want resolved. Each upvote you cast on a reported issue helps us determine which problems are causing the biggest disruptions amongst the community. The earlier we receive votes, the better. We'll provide an update on our progress if we're unable to address all the top voted issues in our October laundry list. With our commitment to quality and providing a smooth and enjoyable game experience, we'll tackle as many issues as possible based on the top voted issues. We're starting with a known list of highly upvoted threads from EA forums, in addition to save file investigations we previously announced. So again, they did already talk about this save file corruption thing, which I think I do briefly mention in the video that is coming out this week, because I have thoughts and opinions. Like I said, I don't think my thoughts and opinions will be popular, and I am fully prepared to be cussed out by y'all when I come back to stream on Thursday, provided I'm able to get the video out. But like, they shared, okay? So that's September. September, basically, they're saying we have an update scheduled to roll out in a couple days. That being said, you can go right now and upvote issues that you're having, which, let me go here. Because is there a way for us to see what the top voted things are? Also remember that the EA forums, there used to be a different place where you would go and report bugs. They transferred over to the EA forums recently. So I think that's another issue, because I remember reporting an issue that I was having that has been since archived, I think, and I need to figure out how to find it or how to unarchive it or whatever to see if I can get that back up. But see, I see this trending thing, Sims standing around instead of taking care of the infant, 240 upvotes, strangers, and this is under investigation, right? So let me hide my face. So like this one, the status is under investigation. Strangers in your conversation. Okay. Is it not possible to drastically reduce how much strangers come up and talk, come up to you and talk and participate in your current conversations uninvited? You end up with a relationship panel crowded by strangers. I'm not even going to bother to click on that because that's absolutely hilarious. Because that is, and it's under investigation. This one says relationship decay is too fast. And this says reviewed. So for example, status change from new to incomplete report. Could you provide the following information? Are you using mods? What platform are you playing on? And then it looks like the original person doesn't look like they responded. A community manager steps in. Hi all, if you're experiencing this issue, to help us investigate further, please provide additional info and please explain. Okay, and again, I'm sorry. Some of this stuff. So one of the things that I kind of call out in my video, again, I'm just spoiling some things. It's just like this forum situation. I just kind of feel like people are not getting it. You gotta respond. If you're gonna leave something in here, respond. I'm not seeing the person's original response, or excuse me, I'm not seeing the original poster coming back. Okay, well, anyway, I was just curious about this to see from our point of view if we can see the things, let me hide my face again, that are like the top voted concerns, the top things that people, and I would say that all of these things, absolutely. Sims obsessively use computer/bars as their place anywhere in the home. Under investigation. And what, do they explain what this means? So if I click on the computers one, status is under investigation. Excessive use objects currently tracked in this thread. Computer general bar. Okay. It says status change from new to troubleshooting. Status change from troubleshooting to under investigation. I'm just curious of what that means. Does that mean that this is a potential to be on the laundry list in October, right? Like, Townie outfit generator creates incoherent mismatched clothing combinations. Now, some of this stuff I will say, like, they've addressed, I remember specifically, they addressed Townie outfits within the last couple of years, right? And I would, in my own personal gameplay experience, I can attest to, like, outfits are still wild. So I don't know if this is something that has happened again, if it was never actually fixed, if they are, you know, I don't know, they need to relook at it because whatever they fixed before is creating new issues. I don't know. So yeah, I like what I'm seeing here. Even this one, romantic satisfaction still decays for inactive couples, feels kind of like the one earlier, relationship decay is still too fast. Something about the EA forums, I just don't know if it's as like helpful and organized for players. If it's as helpful and organized for players as it could be. So anyway, so yeah, so they're saying that, you know, you can go here, you can upvote bugs that you're having. Make sure you have an account with the EA forums and you go and upvote these things, right? If you're having an issue, go and actually report. I think sometimes when I'm playing the game and I'm like, I have an issue with this, I'm having an issue with that, I don't always go and do this step. But if they are serious about dealing with top voted concerns, and we can see here, and then because I'm recording this too, like, let me just stop here. So we have a very clear understanding of what the top reports were for this day. Because I'm curious, this is gonna be a thing for all of us to like follow up with in a month or two to see like, okay, well, we, on the day we checked, the trending items were these. Oh, and then look, you guys probably already said it. I'm sorry, y'all, I didn't look. The most votes right here. So these are trending on this day. We see we're trending. I don't know what qualifies as, I don't know how a post makes it to trending. Is it just how many upvotes it got in the last couple of days, right? But Sims standing around instead of taking care of the infant, strangers in your conversation, relationship decay is too fast, and Sims obsessively use computers and bars as their place anywhere in the home. Which I would say most of these are not like new, okay? Are not like new issues, right? Most votes, 2,200 votes. Drag no longer working for several objects. Okay, so this says fixed. So let's say, oh, I basically want everything but fixed. Okay, I guess let's just keep scrolling until we get to, okay. Severe lag after 1 hour of gameplay requires restart. So this has been tagged as needs info. Okay. This was from 3 months ago. There are 38 messages in here, but it's still tagged as needs info. Then the next one that isn't fixed is photos / paintings turning black / blank from 7 months ago, and it needs info. And this is another one of those things that I remember they released a fix for once upon a time. So this must be new or something's happened again. He said, drag me to the trash. Sounds like a RuPaul spinoff. Okay. Adult / teen / children at work / school on reload trying to skip work / school. Yes, this is an issue and it's under investigation. Okay. This one's fixed. I wish the fixed ones were like archived. Okay. Random milestone / moodlets is under investigation. Mixologist behind the bar but not tending it, unavailable for orders is under investigation. Sims wear default underwear when naked, under investigation. Oh yeah, this has been happening. Dang, I gotta upvote that. I gotta come back to these and upvote these. And again, this is one of those ones that I just assumed, I'm like, they must have fixed something and decided that this is what they want. But no, that's not true. Eye / eyelid issues, which they did say in the laundry list here that they actually have a partial fix for this. Okay. So what's interesting is, at least for me looking at this right now, right? They keep trying to let players know and let us know that some of the things that we are having issues with require more testing and troubleshooting. Unfortunately, I think that leads sometimes, I'm not always saying all the time, but I think sometimes it leads to this feeling of, we reported this issue and they don't care. They're not doing anything about it because they're releasing fixes on like tags or reorganizing things in the build by catalog. How does that help us when Sims are not taking care of their infants, or they are, the mixologist is behind the bar but they're not tending it? Like that, those are our real problems, and we see what the real problems are, because if you go to the EA forums, we're looking at the things that have the most votes. So we're seeing how many players agree, like, yes, I'm having this issue. Yep. But I just want to call out here, for what it's worth, in this category, either the things that are in this category are fixed, or they need info, or they're being investigated. Like, work is happening. I'm worried that the work is happening behind the scenes, and we are convinced as a community that no work is happening. The needs info one is the one I personally have beef with, that I do talk about in my video. So let me go back to this. Okay. All right. So the EA forums exist. That's the point of that. Make sure you have an account with the EA forums and that you go and upvote. And if you don't want to go through every little thing, I would suggest start with the trending tab and then go to the most upvotes tab and just really make sure that those things get upvoted. All right. And then obviously, if you're having some random little quirk, like, go and find it. I think also too, that's another thing I'll say, is if you don't want to do all the extra of like, oh, I don't want to have to type up a whole thing, somebody has probably reported it. Just search for your issue and just go upvote what they say, So then they say, scroll down to read more about how it works to vote on the issues. So we can talk about that in a second. But for October 2025, monitoring and addressing fixes. We're currently completing compliance tests across platforms and multiple levels of quality verification for the Adventure Awaits expansion pack, including playtesting with the Sims team and a paid group of experienced Sims players from the community. Oh. Okay. On October 2nd, the Adventure Awaits expansion pack, ***, will be released, and monitoring will continue through the EA forums to ensure any unforeseen issues are fixed in a timely manner. Okay, November 2025. I just need to check something. Lurking now, finishing some house chores. Okay, bet. You notice the bartender's been chilling. You said, I know I'm in the minority, but I love broken games. All in her movements, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Also, how are you? Okay, so then they say November 2025, fixes and freebies for everyone. November 4th, voting day, mind you. Mark your calendars. This will be a big day. Not only will you see fixes based on your feedback, but the update will also include some new free content for all players. And I'm gonna tell you right now, don't say things like that unless you're willing to deliver. And I'm gonna say the thing. And nobody better be mad at me when I say it. I'm gonna say it because I'm allowed to dream. Okay, I'm allowed. I've had a hard couple of weeks. I get to dream. Yo, what if this is it? What if they give us cars? I couldn't even say it with a straight face. Ain't that about a bitch? I'm gonna try that one more time. Y'all, this could be the day we get cars. You said, girl, please. You said, I knew you were going there. You said bands. For free? How about this? How about this? Wait. Let's compromise. Garages. Driveways and garage doors. And they make the debug cars not debug. And we can click on them for interactions. Maybe we can't drive, but it's a little something something. You said, ma'am. You said, now V, you know. Now you trolling yourself. You guys, let her dream. It's always cars with you. It is! Damn it! It's my one hill! It's my hill! It's the principle. You think I don't know it makes sense? It doesn't make any sense. The bikes aren't even working. Okay? You think I don't know it's Delulu? This is what happens when they're not going to give us The Sims 5. I get to say things like I want cars. And believe this, and mind you, I'm quoting them directly. It says, and I quote, November 4th, mark your calendars. This will be the big day. Maybe we're bringing y'all cars. It says it right there. It's just the same color as the background. So you can't see it, but that's what it says. They said, and I quote, not only will you see fixes based on your feedback, but the update will also include some new free content for players like garage doors, driveways, and making the debug cars not debug. That's what it says. I'm not making it up. It's right here in plain white text. And y'all gonna be mad at me because y'all can't see it? I don't see how that's my problem. You said you're gonna have to let the stream go. And the way I will not. And I will not be doing that, actually. And when they come out with cars in 2036, I'm gonna come right back here and be like, told y'all. You said you think they'll come eventually, but not for free. Yeah, because they've paywalled bikes, right? Like, we don't have base game bikes. 2036. The new free content is T-Pain's hair. Oh. You're absolutely right. It's that damn hair. It's that damn hair. It's that hair. He said 2036. Jesus. They announced it in his stream. Yes, they did. Parsons and Sword will be the houses in the kitchen going to the refrigerator. Oh, I'm sorry. You said cars in The Sims 4 will be in the houses in the kitchen going to the refrigerator. You said I completely forgot about that. I forgot about that here as well. I did, and that's exactly what they mean. They can't. Here's what I don't like. Don't say things like, "Oh, it's gonna be a big day." New free. This is gonna be a big day. They don't need to say that. They can just say, November 4th, fixes and freebies for everyone. Not only will you see fixes based on your feedback, but the update will also include some new free content for all players. If they had just said that, oh, hold on. Damn it. What happened? There it is. Sorry about that. If they had just had this line, November 2025 fixes and freebies for everyone. Not only will you see fixes based on your feedback, but there will be an update that includes some new free content for all players. That's all they needed to say. I'd be like, oh, fun. But they said this will be a big day! Exclamation point. They said mark your calendars. I don't know. They said I don't know what else you got going on November 4th, but you need to mark your calendars. I can't even say it because this will be a big day. It's sounding like garage doors. It's sounding like driveways. It's sounding like it is what it sounded like to me. You want me to mark my calendar? You're not making me mark my calendar for the T-Pain hair. You know what I mean? Because if you want me to mark my calendar and then I get a T-Pain hair, I'm gonna be pissed. Now, if you want me to mark my calendar and I'm gonna get several new Afro textured hairstyles, listen, it's not garage doors, but okay, I'll mark my calendar. What if it's preteens? If it's preteens, Ayana, I'm gonna crash out. The preteens truthers have got to be stopped. I'm a Cars truther, all right? Cars truthers with me. Preteen truthers have got to be stopped. I have got to rally to squash that movement. The hell? People are barely happy with infants. And we want to add another life stage? That's wild to me. You said free bands? Free bands would absolutely be, he said, maybe it's airports. Roger, stop. That's possible, but I think that would piss a lot of people off because most of a lot of the instruments are locked behind packs. But that would be funny. Oh my God. Wait, people are putting it together. Oh my gosh, the prophecy. You all are bringing up the prophecy. You're absolutely right. Wouldn't that be absolutely wild? Is if in the end, this was some sort of free update? If y'all do not remember, I had speculated that the next expansion pack would be bands related because of this. Because the prophecy foretold. Hold on. That's so interesting. Okay, because the prophecy foretold this. The prophecy foretold this in March. And we did get that in a big update. We got the burglars in a big update this year. Are you guys unlocking the prophecy? Is in the end, was this always some sort of free update? Being able to play music? There's no way. There's no way we're getting bands for free, right? I'm not even trying to get y'all's hope up. Y'all, so one of y'all brought it up. Was it Koya? Somebody in the chat. I say it every stream. I think the update is going to be bands for real because they've been hinting at it so much that it would be playing in our faces at this point if it doesn't come by then. Yes! And I was honestly perfectly prepared to have them playing in our face. Honestly, they threw me for a loop with that whole Adventures the Waits thing. I was like, I don't know what the hell they're doing. You're a band truther, but again, I highly doubt we're getting them for free. I'm like, is it some sort of something we're getting? Are we getting more instruments? Are they just gonna add more instruments? Was that the whole ruse with businesses and hobbies the whole time? They're like, yeah, we'll have people buy the businesses and hobbies pack, and then later in the year, we'll just give them a couple more things to do. I don't know. All I'm saying is the prophecy. It says they foretold November 2025. They foretold something. So if December 1st comes by and there's nothing to do with drums or rocking out or something, I'm not even gonna say I'm gonna be devastated because I wasn't a bands person. You all have convinced me more about bands. But I'm like, there has to be an explanation for that because it was they did so much promo. They did the promo around the burglars. They did for the 25th anniversary, and for that YouTube party that I went to. They had burglars there. Like that was so obvious. But this here has always been a little bit of like a what's this not gonna be? But I don't think I just feel like it wouldn't be in here if it didn't mean something. Because we don't have bands right now in The Sims 4. So I don't know, maybe y'all are onto something. And I'm gonna give credit where credit was due, because I did not come up with that. I was basically at a loss once they weren't gonna sell it to us. I was like, well, I guess no bans. I wouldn't want bans as a free update because it would be bare bones. I'll pay for quality. Don't let anybody hear you say that, too, love. Let me scroll and see what you said. If Brands' free content update, I would jump for joy. That would be amazing. No way they'd give bands for free, but maybe a new instrument or two. Yeah. That's what I'm like, maybe an instrument. Maybe they give us drums. Someone on the Sims team who knows if that isn't true is doing that Leonardo DiCaprio laugh meme right now. Wait, what? He said, assuming one is watching. Airports would make a lot of sense. The mod community has been creating airports lately along with hotels. That airports is so fun. Airports is so beyond any of my expectations for this game. Airports and no cars is wild to me. So I don't know. We're putting a pin in that. It's September. It's September. All I'm saying is, for as few words as this is, I read the thing about garage doors. Some of y'all are reading things about airports in here. Some of y'all are translating for bands, but don't tell me to mark my calendars and then give me a couple new free hairs. Like, miss me with that, right? And you know what else? Last thing I'll say about that is, because you know why I'm like, it better not just be a couple of little items, because they unexpectedly dropped new stuff for us this year. Didn't even tell us they were gonna do it. They're like, oh, by the way, here's all this Pride stuff. No announcement, just a quick little post like, oh yeah, here you go. Free stuff today. SEX drop. So mark your calendars. That better be something worth it. So then they end with ongoing work. We assure you that we're aware of the issues impacting your play experiences, and your voices matter to us. Whether it's gameplay, creative sim issues, or just a visual bug, utilizing the EA forums and casting your votes will directly shape our future updates and changes to The Sims 4. Dag the Sims team. Okay, and so then they tell us the process and prioritizing fixes, how it works. So here's what we're starting with, the top votes. Share your issue. If you have an issue with The Sims 4, take a few minutes to visit the EA forums and see if a report thread already exists for the issue you're having. If you're unsure if a report has been made, please create a new report and our team will merge it with an existing one. If you are still experiencing an issue that is marked as fixed, please create a new report. If you are experiencing an issue that has been marked as needs information, we've been unable to make progress or replicate this issue. Save files with the issue occurring are the most helpful for our team, so please share your save file when uploading one of these issues. And then they send instructions on how to send user files. And then they say vote for fixes. If you see a report that matches any issue you're experiencing with The Sims 4, simply click the vote button to add your vote. If you created a new report, please upvote the report you created. Okay, I did not know you needed to do that. That's it. You're not limited on how many issues you can upvote. I wish they would have just said, that's it. You can upvote as many issues as you're experiencing, right? Because it says not limited. We will start with the reports that have the most upvotes by the end of September for a November update. If during the course of our investigation, we discover an issue is only happening with saves that use mods, we may not be able to resolve that issue. As a reminder, we do not and cannot pre-screen, support, or endorse mods. Closer to the base game update in November, we'll publish a special edition of our laundry list, including the top voted community issues you can expect to see resolved. And follow The Sims Direct on Twitter and The Sims Discord to stay current with important updates and fixes. And in case you didn't know, I have my own Discord where I try to link when the Sims team makes announcements to the Discord and to help make sure that you're seeing things as they happen. It's not a replacement. I still do think that if you're in my Discord, you should definitely be in the Sims Discord. And if you're in the Sims Discord and you're not in my Discord and you're watching this, make sure you join my Discord. But yeah, so my gut feeling before this had been, and poking around for a little bit kind of confirmed it for me, was just kind of like, if there's an issue, oh, hi, Alex, welcome. If there's an issue, you need to report it on the EA forums, and you need to provide your save files. And I think more than anything, I feel like that's what this post is about. Like, we see that you're having issues. It takes time for us to figure out why it's happening. And it's easier for us to figure out why it's happening if we have your save files. That's just the bottom line. And if we can't figure it out, because did they say, hold on, under investigation, we're looking at the top voted issues under investigation and needs info statuses. That's it. I was worried that they were saying, oh, the needs information. If you're experiencing issues that are marked as needs information, we haven't been able to replicate the issue. So needs info. Ooh, interesting. So going back to the list, okay? Going back to this list. So we're back on the EA Forums site. We're back in the most voted. Scrolling past the things that have been tagged as fixed. Going down to here. Severe lag after 1 hour of gameplay. Requires restart is tagged as needs info, which according to the post means the team cannot replicate this issue. Photos and paintings turning black/blank. Needs info, the Sims team can't figure out this issue. So if I go to this, severe lag after 1 hour of gameplay. So they are saying they're experiencing major performance issues when they launch the game. The issue is the longer I play, the worse the game performs. After 30 minutes, the menus feel slower. So they're going on, they're explaining all the things that are going wrong. The only issue is to completely restart the game after relaunching, everything is smooth again, but only temporarily. Then they share their hardware that they have, which is so funny because now I can actually look at this and I understand somewhat of what it means. i9 processor, 64 gigs of RAM, a 4090, game installed on SSD, no mods, no CC, all expansion packs installed. I mean, to me, this is a pretty solid setup. I also tend to play fast paced, usually on speed 3. In 1 hour of real time gameplay, I can go through 10 to 14 sim days. It's, whoa. Wait, hold on. 2 weeks? 2 weeks in an hour? I can barely get through 2 days. I had to pause. I was like, wait, what? Okay. Sims for speedrunner, right? He said, "Feel the love revolution." Okay, Roger's mobilizing. It would be great to know if this has already been reported or tracked. So this is interesting because this is not something I've noticed myself. But maybe I'll pay attention now. So someone else is saying that they're having an issue, and I'm trying to see. I had a thread here, but it was moved to technical issues. I've been experiencing severe random lag since the July 1st update. Someone from the Sims team says it's been switched to under investigation. So they were checking it out. All right. So then what happened? Because now it's under needs info. Okay, here we go. So then they said, hey, if any of you are still encountering this on the latest game version without mods, would you be willing to share your save files as well as whatever this is? If so, send me a private message with the link to the files. Instructions can be found here. Please also include a link to the thread the save is for. I don't know what that means. Okay, merci. And then so they did that, and that was 3 months ago. So, okay, and now you can see someone else has commented, I've been having this issue for months. Have to restart the game every hour, otherwise you have to play with intense lag. Did this person do this? Did this person do this? Happens on the PS5 too. I don't know if you can share the save files in the PS5. Someone else said, I've been having this issue since late 2024. And then they do a lot of explaining and it gets worse over time. Did they share their issues? But let me keep scrolling. I'm not even going back. Okay. Hey, everyone. Don't forget. See that they're collecting save files. So that's what the original, I think that's what OP is saying, right? Because you're OP? No. Actually, you're not even OP. Who are you? Oh, you're someone who's helping. Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so again, they're like, hey, we need the save files. Okay, so I ended up getting simulate. So someone else is coming in here, and I think they're just helping, saying, I ended up downloading a mod to help fix this, right? It used to do the trick for me, but not anymore. After some time, the lag just reached unplayable at the point. So people are just talking. I'm just scrolling through because I'm trying to see if someone else, if that member from the team comes back. But instead, it seems like people are just adding that they're having the issue. I'm curious how many people who came across this issue has seen this message. And is there a way for this message, like to me in the EA forums, that message should be pinned right underneath here. Like the first thing you should see after you see this post is this message. You shouldn't see anything else, because now you've got a dozen, 2 dozen people commenting saying like, I'm having this issue. I'm having this issue as well. I'm having this issue with this. I'm having this issue, but try this mod to help. I'm just scrolling up and down. I'm sorry. I know it's a little disorienting, but that is my personal beef right now, looking at the EA forums and trying to, and for the Sims team to try to get the community to use the forums and understand how the forums drive the updates themselves. I think that the education around it needs to go a little bit further, and I think that there could be more effort in making the EA forums website more user friendly, because I don't think, based on what I just saw here, that people are doing what they're being asked to do. Because right in there, someone from EA is like, send me your save files. You said it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of responses on these forums, and the information seems to be kind of old. I think it's just one of those things where it's just, and again, I don't know, but it's one of those things of like the EA-Cade in this instance. EA-Cade 3 months ago. So that puts us back in June. May at the earliest, right? June, July at the latest. Somewhere in that time, EA-Cade was like, all right, I mean, I guess save your sim files, because we can't replicate this issue with what we're doing. There will be no fix for this if they can't replicate it. And that's, I think, another piece of the education that's missing. I think that people don't understand how not QAing, but I don't think people understand how that part of the development process works. If the developers can't recreate the issue, they can't fix the issue. If they can't recreate the issue, then maybe they need where the issue is happening in your save. And if you're only having the issue because you have certain mods, then as far as EA is concerned, that's not their problem. It's the mods issue. The mod is causing the problem. So let's take mods out of it, because that person very specifically said they don't use mods. They got a nice computer and they don't use mods. And so, and honestly, I saw that person post, unless the usernames change, I don't even know if they ended up providing their save files. I don't know, because it's not like they responded and said, I did it. Maybe they did do it and they didn't need to respond to the thread. I have no idea. But scrolling through here, I don't see anything from them. Scrolling through here, I didn't see anything from people saying, okay, well, I shared my save file too. All I saw was the people agreeing that they're also having this issue and thinking that commenting is like prioritizing it, when they said that they needed save files. All those people are constantly commenting on social media. I just know most of them are not submitting their save files. Yeah, that's my concern. My concern is that trying to get people to understand how to get their problems addressed, and then from there understanding how it works from there. And that's not my problem. That's not my problem. Like, that's not my job. That's somebody else's job to figure out. They did their whole quality of life roadmap thing. They're figuring it out. But I think a lot of the frustration that is coming from the Sims community right now is like misunderstanding that. because I can't speak to the Sims team pre-2023. Pre-2023, I wasn't that dialed in to every little announcement. Actually, that's not true. That's not true. How can I say what I mean? Hey, prior to 2023, I can't speak to how dialed in the Sims team was to communicating. I have felt like in the last 2 to 2.5 years, the Sims team has been pretty transparent. Now, I don't think people will agree with that statement. I think some people will be like, oh, they've been unclear, blah, blah. I'm like, no. I feel like most of the things that they have said, they have followed up on. Maybe they have followed up on poorly in some people's opinion, but they have followed up on. And that what it really comes down to is they need people's save files, and I don't think they're getting them. They're fixing the stupid little stuff because they're like, well, yeah, that's mistagged, and we can see that. We can fix that. Oh, this thing is causing clipping. Okay, let's fix that. Save file corruption is clearly taking them almost a year, maybe a year and a half. It only takes 2 seconds to submit a save file. Yeah. Okay, that's your forum post. If anyone else is experiencing an issue with their teens basically not graduating with high school year pack and also not getting the milestone of with the Growing Together pack. It was a cross posted over a year ago to the Sims website forum thing before they solely switched to EA forums. Yes, and so I think also that the Sims, the other thing that they were using to track bugs, them transitioning everything over to EA forums, I think some things are also have gotten lost in that process. So I'm curious about that. So if I search, I know you guys can't see this, I'm gonna search first. Graduation not working. High school graduation not working. This says that it's solved. Okay, no, I don't need payment monitor. I need this. And then sorry. Okay. Okay, so high school graduation not working. So I just searched graduation not working, right? Because this is how I would actually go through and confirm. I would search my issue first so I can just go upvote somebody else who's having an issue. But this says solved. High school graduation not working. I don't know what this means. Graduate early not working. Sims not working after graduating. Graduation not working. No diploma, no picture. This has 992 eyes, but only... oh, yeah, Koi. Okay, this one's yours. Okay, great. So I see you're going back and forth, and then what happened? Do you also have issues? Okay, so this was like a year ago. 3 months ago, it was changed from reviewed to under investigation. Did you see this? Hi, Erica. Thank you for saying hello. I hope you're having a great day too. But did you see that it was changed to under investigation? Oh, you did. Yeah. Sorry, you did just say that. Hold on. You said, and your save file was shared there, but this one just says under investigation without them having requested your file just yet. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like there's some troubleshooting and stuff, but it went from troubleshooting to under, and that's the other thing too. I'm like not sure what do they explain what these tags mean? Oof, okay, I strayed too far away. Let's go to the important info. If I click on this, okay, no. New. I feel like I understand what new means. Troubleshooting. Sims keep resetting randomly. Agreed. Okay, and then Krinrick usually like is one of these people who comes in and like handles things as well in the forums, and so read first. Oh, how to send user files. Yeah, I mean some of this stuff looks like it's newer, like within a year and stuff because of the transition. Yeah. No need to, you said after that one update, high school graduations works for me now. Anyone else? I haven't had a teen graduate since then. I have also not tested prom either. I keep getting your hopes up each laundry list, but none of them have addressed it on the list as of yet. So a lot of my Sims technically haven't graduated. We'll go share it in the Discord so everyone can at least upvote. That's probably something Roger said earlier. The forums are an example of when nerds undercut themselves. The Sims team should have somebody that doesn't actually work on the Sims team to organize how these things are taken care of. I don't know. Does Kriniak work on the Sims team? I feel like some of this is just like volunteers, but I don't know. Yeah, I think they're communicating. All I've seen up and down my timelines and stuff is just not communicating. This is communicating. They're communicating, but to me, they're not saying anything different than they said before. I realize you can't see me. They're not saying anything different than what they've said before, which is things take time. We need your save files. That has been the consistent messaging. I will say that, in my opinion, this is the most clear that they've been about, like, hey, listen, this is how we prioritize fixes, and this is how you submit your fixes. I'm not sure if I've seen this before in an update post. I'm not saying it's never happened. I'm just saying, I'm like, oh, this is pretty explicit. I think one step further for me would be if they could explain what the tags mean in the forums to help us understand. But maybe we don't need to know. I don't know. Graduation never happens for you. Okay, so that's that. That is basically the big like news around just what to be expecting from The Sims 4 in some capacity over the next couple months. They've addressed that people are frustrated with the glitchiness and everything that's going on with the game right now, and they're sharing with us how we can share the issues that we're having. And if you're having issues in your game right now, just take a few minutes, make sure you have an account with the EA forums. I have one, I'm just not signed in, and go through and, you know, the next time you play over the next couple of weeks, I would say before October, just if you're having an issue, just make a note and then go and upvote it in the community. That's the main thing. If you don't want to go and make a whole thing about a post, sure, but at least try to find something that if you're experiencing it, you can upvote it. That's the best thing we can do. Okay. Now, I know you guys have all seen the gameplay trailer at this point. Like I said, I mean, I might just at least do a short video just to make sure I did it. I'm just scrubbing through it right now to see. But it answered a lot of questions. Oh God, I wish I had checked the Discord before I even talked about this so I could see what y'all said. But it seems to answer a lot of the questions that I was kind of like, you know, what's happening with this pack. And so I'll just record just in case. Okay, so here is the gameplay trailer for Adventure Awaits, and we can talk about it for a hot second, and then it's already 10 o'clock, so I might have to retitle the stream and just, it's just one of those, it's one of them days. Okay, all right. Let me pause this.
Sometimes it feels like life could use a fast-forward button. But I think what it really needs is a play button. And I'm not just saying that because I wouldn't exist otherwise. So come on, adventure awaits! When Nigel was a kid, life was full of fun. Super cool playgrounds, retro video games, even the silly game of hand shapes. I win! Wait, did I win? I've got a rock. Occasionally, he'd go off and do his own thing, which was fine.
Okay, there's a lot.
No, I mean it. As an imaginary friend, I was just like the others of my kind. It was my duty to be there for my kid when he needed me. But
and they talked about the imaginary friends too in the Discord. I don't know if you all saw that. Okay.
Every kid grows up, and plenty leave us poor imaginary friends behind. Not Nigel! Our friendship was so strong, he made me real! No goodbyes here! Now I get to experience everything this world has to offer. We're all about adventure in Gibby Point, and there's none better than a getaway. Say goodbye to your everyday routine, and hello to something new. If you're not sure where to start, there are 3 unique venues ready for you to explore, where you can host or plan the perfect getaway. Getaways have a schedule to keep you on track, but some also introduce other elements to keep you on your toes, like rules. My memories with Nigel at camp are awesome. But I get it if you want to create something new, like a luxury bed and breakfast, say.
Danielle
Or
built
maybe
this
an
one.
evil villain social hideaway.
Also, are you evil, fam?
I reckon it's easiest to modify an existing getaway since they already have built-in schedules and roles. But you can always make the days as full or as chill as you like.
I did see a video.
Choose where
about
your
that,
getaway will
and-
be,
we'll talk
how
about
long
that
it
for a
is,
second.
or if it's a weekly thing. And add some rules if you like. Want a camp of little prodigies?
We'll
Well,
stop
there's a
there.
rule to get them building skills faster. And another to send them packing. Who knows? Your choices could result in some formative moments for these kids. Taking the time to build her archery skills and completing this challenge could change the direction of her life forever. See, she's unlocked a new trait to help her maintain her focus. Focus?
Also interesting
Focus!
rewards.
Whoops, sorry, got sidetracked there. Let's shift focus away from getaways and over to custom venues. Create your own, or try one created by others to get the old imagination train moving. You can design and customize it to have its own schedule, roles, and behaviors for visitors.
Side bakery.
And if you want, you can host all kinds of getaways there, like an amazing cooking competition. I mean, it's like it was designed for it. I just want to jump in here. I've always wanted to crush one of these challenges. Uh-oh, someone's a little competitive. Now, imagine what other possibilities are out there. Yeah, it's a survival competition with a vampire on a tropical island. Why, who's asking? Hey, the getaway system can take you places you'd never expect. Just sim it and see.
Y'all. Oh, this little still. This little still, I'm like, what is going on here? Because there's all these pride flags all over this. I'm like, this is so funny. Like a party house situation. And this is cute as well. I'm like, can we do this? He said, here we go again, but how are the hotels not part of this? Okay. So here's the thing. Like I said, there's no need for me to do a full play-by-play because it's been so long. But like, we see just as far as like major moments of UI that they're showing us. Friends to the end, imaginary boost, say goodbye forever, send back to imaginary land. Okay. And that was, I guess, after we were able to turn this little doll into an imaginary friend. But they did go into the different imaginary friends.
As an imaginary friend, I
types.
was just...
Okay, so you should already know if you're in the Discord. I'm not even going to pull it up right now, like more or less. And I've seen the photos kind of float around on the internet. Then, oh my God, the hair, so cute. Although looking at this, I was wondering, is this how the hair normally works? Yeah. The reason why I'm thinking that, because I'm like, would it be braided and then like the whole, you have little braids and then you put them into the different things, or do you braid up your kid's hair like this? It's obviously been, I don't know, 25, 30 years since I've had my hair done like that. You know? He said if my imaginary friend looked like that, I think I'd be quite insane. Offer to make real. Oh, right. Okay, so then they explained this as well. I gotta go back and look at that stuff. Okay, anyway, looking at the world. Oh, is that safe? Y'all see that? I feel like I'm getting distracted by things that don't matter. This whole situation on top of a dock, is that what you do? Is that something you're supposed to do? Because I feel like that's a fire hazard. But again, what do I know? Or is it fire hazard because you're over water? You did a kid's hair like that. Okay, you slicked into the hair and then braided what came out. That was really, I was looking at that like, yeah, I mean, that's a thing. I feel like they would have referenced like real hairstyles. I just was wondering. You said, backfiring, did you comment on the Sims elderly community living thing? No, we're not. We're literally, I'm just starting to scrub through. Because I'm looking for the major UI and stuff like that. Although this is, I mean, this world looks really pretty. I'm really excited. I'm really excited. Okay, that's okay. I also am glad that that's gonna work. I'm glad for this new workout stuff. The blender, obviously, but we've talked about some of this. So then they go into the different, oh my gosh, what are they? The different places. Okay, so then we've got the schedules. Is my thing zoomed in? I think it is. I don't know how to fix that right now. I don't know how to, I don't know why it's cropped in like that. So that's annoying. How am I going to fix this? Okay, hold on. Sorry, I'm fixing something because I was like, wait a minute, this is not working the way it's supposed to. Ooh. Why is this wrong? Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, I think I fixed it. I think I fixed it. There it is. Okay, cool. Okay, so romantic competition. Okay, so the schedule thing is confusing to me because they showed schedules multiple places, and so we have the romantic competition where they, I guess they sleep, they have breakfast, enjoy the outdoors, have dinner, and mix and mingle. Ooh. And this is highlighted, so and they're having dinner, so I'm assuming that it's like, okay, it's sometime it's around 5 o'clock, and then now it's sometime around 8 where they're mixing and mingling, and I guess he's worried about being eliminated. Then you got the imaginary friend who's just hanging out, which I just love. I love that. Okay, yeah. So what are you talking about at this point?
Or maybe an evil villain social hideaway.
Okay, so now we're planning.
I reckon it's easiest to modify an existing getaway.
So we're talking about existing getaway. Sorry, I'm starting and stopping. Fitness retreat, outdoor kids camp. Sorry, I'm gonna bring my face back. Romantic competition, cooking competition, cozy bed and breakfast, creativity retreat, senior living community, teen popularity contest. Wow. These are the presets. And these are the presets that are clearly just the base game in this pack. So the my brain, I feel like, is percolating. My brain is so interesting because obviously I'm going to have early access to this pack. So it's one of those things where I'm like, I am going to be able to play this, but I'm also just like, my brain is percolating with ideas while also not even being sure what I want to do with myself. You know, you said that's if the system works. They are, I'm pretty sure if you use the new getaway system and for rent, you've got hotels. I don't know. For rent is weird because for rent is about residential. For rent is partitioning the lot you load into. So if you use for rent and you load in, I don't think it'll work the way that I would want hotels to work. I know we've talked about that before with hotels. I was thinking about it maybe yesterday, like just to myself, because I was like, you know, I think you guys talked about like the reception desk thing where you would check in. It's almost like I would need for rent where you can partition the different rooms and stuff without having to load into one specific unit. Like I'm loading into the whole lot and then my hotel is partitioned up. I'm not sure if that's what this is. Getaways at a residential lot. Well, let's see. Yeah, no, like this whole thing is interesting because then so let's just look at this section real quick, right? So let me listen to him again.
Since they already have built-in schedules and roles.
So he chose, I guess, this preset. Outdoor kids camp.
Since they already have built-in schedules and roles.
And he said the pre-scheduled things have, or the presets have schedules and roles already. So, and there's a role library. So we have the camp. This is the outdoor kids camp. So we have a camp counselor, we have the camp director, and we have campers. So ×2, ×8, ×1. Then we have the schedule. So sleep, have breakfast, paper craft, eat outdoors, do water activities, campfire, sleep. All right, let's listen.
But you can always make the days as full.
Okay, so then he makes it fuller, which sleep until 6, and then they have breakfast, and then they bathe, and then they paper craft, then they build creative skills, and then the next hour they're doing archery, the next hour they're doing eating outdoors, the next they're cleaning, the next they're water activities, campfire, and sleep. So I did see a critique online. Someone made a video and basically was like, this is rage bait. Because let me just make sure there was not another part. Yeah, or do water activities at 2 p.m. Okay, sure. But they said that that's rage bait because there's no way. They were like, it takes Sims an hour just to like brush your teeth or whatever they said. There's no way that this is gonna work. And I was like, that's hilarious. You said, not gonna lie, some players that have CFE access already make me think that this pack was a bit of a letdown for them based off their energy when talking about how they can finally mention currently making and editing reviews for it. Like, I wish we could know when they could start posting their reviews, but I think the main features they were hyped for wasn't all that. Well, you know, all we're allowed to say is that we have early access. That's all we're allowed to say about that. So I can't even be like, oh, this was a letdown or this isn't a letdown. I just have to say, that's all I can say. So yeah. He said, my theory is that the 3 pre-existing getaways already in the world. Yeah, I mean, I thought that's what they said. This is my worry, and I think I won't be getting it ASAP because of this. Oh, about the rage bait schedule thing. You know, and it's one of those things where they make it as full. I will say I noticed that there is a 4-hour like gap here, but these little big span little gaps, I'm like, that there's no way. Will the Sims execute these things or do we have to micromanage them? That's the question I'm looking for. Yeah. I'm wondering if they're going to have activities that are programmed into the game in correspondence with these different preset schedules. Mm-hmm. Oh, we're not listening. Okay.
Choose where your getaway.
Okay, so then choose where the getaway will be. Okay, so Gibby Point, residential, custom venue, Gomez Ralston residence, custom venue. You guys said that there's going to be a hello. You guys said that there's going to be a thing tomorrow, which I forgot about all the different. It's so funny when they had the little schedule of their little Discord conversations that they're going to have. I just was like, oh, it's going to be so long from now. And already there's another one, which is so crazy. You're most excited for daycares and senior homes as getaways. Yeah. Okay, wait, let me see. Hold on, wait. So then we got custom menu, etc.
How long it is?
So 1 to 6 nights.
Or if it's a weekly thing.
And then recurring weekly. And then you can choose the day. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little overwhelmed looking at this because I'm sitting here. I'm like, oh, this is No, I don't get it. I'm a little confused.
And
And then choose the time it's gonna start. So let me listen to that one more time. I'm gonna listen to this section one more time. Hold on.
roles, but you can always make the days as full or as chill as you like. Choose where your getaway will be, how long it is, or if it's a weekly thing. And add some rules if you like.
So it's like, can you choose how long it is weekly? So can I do a 6-night getaway recurring? I don't like I don't know. He said, well, he said, especially if you have 8 or more campers, like, oof, will that go well? Nickel and dimes they could have put into hotel. Nickel and dimes they could have put hotels into. Yeah. Can we set a getaway for kids but not go ourselves? Because what if I need a break? Bye, go to summer camp or private school. Yes, that's my question as well. Yeah.
And add some rules if you like.
Okay, so then they have rules. And I'm assuming these are all of them. And I'm curious. This is the kind of thing that I'm gonna say, like, oh, I'm curious if there's more if you have more packs, but then I'm like, why would there be more for more packs? Anyway, activity shuffle, grind set, mindset, hardcore mode, house of grudges, which some of these we've seen. Love is in the air, creative skills elimination, survival of the fittest elimination, cooking skills elimination, child skills elimination, romantic elimination, popularity elimination, Renaissance studio, no strings attached, player choice elimination. And these are the rules, which we can set up to 5, which is kind of funny. I'm like, does that work?
Want a camp of little prodigies? Well, there's a rule to get them building skills faster. And
Oh, that gets them building the skills
another
faster.
to send
That's
them
cute.
packing.
And the child skills contest elimination seems kind of cruel.
Who knows? Your choices could result in some formative moments for these kids.
Okay, formative moments. Master archery. I want a super cool bow like all the heroes have. 0 out of 2. I bet I can win 3 archery contests. That'd prove how good I am. 0 out of 2. Why does it say 0 out of 2? But you want to win 3 archery contests. I feel like that has to be a placeholder.
Taking the time to build her archery skills
And then
and completing this
she ends up getting, I want a super cool bow
challenge
like all the heroes
could change
have.
the direction of her life forever.
And then she ends up getting the contest.
See?
She completes this formative moment.
She's unlocked a new trait.
Then she has a new trait. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm just like the Symbology panel. And then this trait
Help
will
her maintain.
as an adult, they'll remain focused longer. First of all, just a personal gripe I have with The Sims. The focused moodlet already is overpowered. Some of these moodlets, when you get them, they're already a little bit like they take over their whole personality. So then also they'll remain focused longer. I'm like, why do I want? Okay.
Her focus.
And also I'm like, whatever.
Focus.
It's cute, I guess.
Focus! Whoops, sorry, got sidetracked there.
So then we have the world, but didn't they already release the map and all that? You said 3 archery contests, 0 out of 2? Right. That's such a really specific trait to have. Yes, Koya. And I guess my thought is kind of like that, and that's also kind of an inconsequential trait. So then I'm like, okay, the formative moments thing must be just kind of like a nice to have, not a need to have. I don't know.
Let's shift focus away from getaways and over to custom venue.
I am so excited for this. And I know it doesn't seem like it based on
Create
my
your
reaction.
own, or try one created by others to get the old imagination train moving. You can design and customize it to have its own schedule, roles, and behaviors for visitors.
Okay. One more time.
You can design and customize it to have its own schedule, roles, and behaviors for visitors.
This feels like, I'm like, the kid stuff is great. And as much as I talk about the kid stuff, that really should be my priority with this pack. Unfortunately, they have included custom venues, which for me thwarts all of the children's stuff because I am dialing in on this. This is the only thing to me. Is it worth $40 USD? I don't know. I don't know if it's worth $40 USD, but would I have paid $40 USD? And will I probably be paying $40 USD multiple times over when this pack comes out, provided that it works, to do giveaways? Yeah, this alone, I probably would have been like, and take my money. You said, I'm sure it's just me, but man, that voice is annoying. That's why I said, not the Kiwi slander from Roger. Yes, Simmalically's better Simology panel because the Simology panel was stressing me out and they always want to add more to it. Right. You said, imagine choosing that trait as your descriptive trait on the Love Struck app. Cupid's Corner. It's like, oh, I was into archery as a kid. That actually does sound like something you would put on a dating app. Oh my God. Okay, one more time. Sorry. Let me see. One more time.
You can design and customize it to have its own schedule, roles, and behaviors for visitors.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let me turn off your voice for a second because I need to look at every last screen. Okay, so we're naming this. We're picking a start time. And then, oh, that went by so fast. Okay, custom role, current roles, baker, custom role, instructor, staff, role library with the plus. And then we have baker, instructor, staff, and the current roles. Okay. And then select the behavior. So this, we have seen this UI time and time again because we saw it with clubs. We saw it with businesses and hobbies. We're seeing it with Adventure Awaits, which is so random. You need to see a survival show with the Colts. V, I know you would make a great series like that. It does seem like it should have been or a part of businesses and hobbies as much as I love this pack. Yeah, I did talk about this, I think, with the last trailer, because I kind of was like, the arranging of things for packs this year does seem unusual to me, because this to me seems like businesses and hobbies is custom venues with extra steps. I get that the businesses and hobbies selling point was more so of like, you can own your own custom venues, which then I'm like, so then you can't own these, you know, like, because you're literally giving me packs in the same year. I have to assume now there's some weirdness happening, right? Because now, hold on, let me see what else you got. Because I see arts and music. The rest of this looks from, bedtime. Do we already have bedtime? Campfire, care mentor children, care for infants, toddlers, child skill building, clean, collect butterflies. And then cook. Okay, so we landed on cook. All right, cool. Cook, eat, clean. Oh, okay. Well, yep, that's a bakery, I guess. And then I'm like, I wonder if these are like open and close times, or like, They love showing off that blender. And then they say you can add getaways. So then I'm like, the getaways, you have a schedule, but then your custom venue has a schedule. So do the schedules talk to each other, or do they not relate to each other, or what? Also, these jellyfish hats are so funny. And then he's making cake or something. French toast. And then that sim was competitive. So this is so funny. Some items and interactions shown require The Sims 4 seasons, a classic. The Sims 4 vampires, ooh, spooky. Or, oh, spooky. And The Sims 4 Island Living. What's an Outlast challenge without it? That's really funny. That's a cute little way to do this disclaimer. And this is so funny. And if you notice, now I am going to have to pull up my phone for the Discord real quick. Hold on. Because I didn't look at this. Oh yeah, the Townies and Lores Q&A is tomorrow. I didn't exactly look at this, but if you look at this, this is Sul Island. But if you go into the Sims Discord and you look in their announcements channel, they have, okay, I'm pressing the wrong buttons. They have this. Sul Island 2. And this is just Sul Island. So I thought that was kind of like funny. I didn't watch this, so I'm gonna have to see what that is, but that's really funny. I'm wondering if there will be a cross-pack compatibility with Get Famous and the reality TV show idea from this pack. That would be absolutely lit. You said, oh, if that's a mod, you're thinking it's true chaos. I just loaded some of the sacrificial stuff to really amp up your game. Oh gosh. You said this is the only pack you're paying $40 for? That's really funny. Okay. Let's see. Maybe I should listen to you again.
Yeah, it's a survival competition with a vampire on a tropical island. Why, who's asking?
Is there only one vampire?
Hey, the getaway system can take you...
Also, did you notice the Sims in the background when that Sim started frying up?
Why, who's asking?
Look at their face.
Hey,
They're like, whoa.
getaway system can take...
Oh, when Sims works, it's so fun, y'all. When it works, it's so much fun.
you places you'd never expect. Just sim it and see.
Okay.
But I'm not just...
Okay, yeah, I mean, I know everyone has seen that. I wanted to talk about a little bit of the playgrounds and stuff with you. Like, listen, the potential for this pack, I feel like for me, the stakes are high. I will say that right now, it feels like the stakes are high in general for The Sims. Between everybody being really frustrated, them coming out with this whole quality of life roadmap, and then this pack particularly, that it feels like from my end, the community seems to be responding very well to this pack and the idea of this pack, right? Like, I think, for example, if they had only come out with 2 expansion packs this year, the first one being businesses and hobbies, and then right now with how pissed the community is with the gameplay, then they would have wanted to release Enchanted by Nature, I think people would have been rioting. But it does seem like it was businesses and hobbies, Enchanted by Nature, which people are not pleased with, and then the announcement of this pack, which people seem to be cautiously optimistic for. For me, I'm kind of like, this looks really cute. And there's just like, for me, I'm like, there's just even one feature. Just one feature. The getaways, I'm sorry, are still a little bit, like, I get it, but I don't get it, to be perfectly honest. I'm not sure about that. But I see how that creates the potential for more like gameplay and structuring your own gameplay and like setting things up if you have a story in your head. This kind of goes back to, remember when I was talking about sometimes with me in The Sims, I want to be able to do a little bit more world building, which is kind of how even the custom venues ties in, right? Like, I'm like, can I make a bar and a restaurant now? Can I make, I always go back to this, my whole sapphic coffee shop that turns into a bar. There's actually a real life sapphic bookstore / wine bar that I want to visit. And I'm like, I'm making that in The Sims. I will be making that in The Sims, you know? So I'm like, there is so much potential for this pack, provided that it works. And I think that this pack sounds like it's kind of lifted the spirits for some players. I know that there are some really passionate players right now who are like, no, I'm not buying anything else until the Sims team shows that they're going to fix these issues in the game. And I respect them. To be perfectly honest, I respect players who are like, I'm not buying anything else until my game works the way I want it to work. But that being said, I also feel like I hope those same players are in the EA forums providing their save files, right? Like, I'm like, you can't have it both ways. You can't be bitching and whining about the game all the time, but then not actually providing your save files and not actually doing the upvotes and not actually doing that stuff that the Sims team has said. That's how they prioritize things. Because honestly, the most upvotes that I saw was like 200. And there are thousands plus people who played this, right? Like 200 people said, yeah, I'm having this issue too on the top voted issues. 200 people said, yeah, me too. I don't know. I'm like, as many comments as I see about how things are broken, are you going in and providing your save files, you know? I think what they did well is that even if you're not into kid gameplay, there are things for you to do. And if you're not into getaways or custom venues, there's probably something for you, etc., etc. You said you had me at Sapphic. Hi, Mariah, welcome. I'm sorry, I'm also just keeping this on loop while I'm chit-chatting for a second. Right, it seems like it also offers a lot of stuff that can be used for regular gameplay outside of getaways too, like the modular playground stuff. And the getaway system, I'm very curious to see what everyone can come up with. I think, just going back to this for a second, like, even this is pretty varied. And I know I kind of mentioned that earlier, but this is a little bit all over the place. You know, someone also in the chat mentioned daycares, which daycares came up with businesses and hobbies. So that's why it's interesting. Some of the ideas that we thought that we wanted to do with businesses and hobbies now spill over into adventure awaits, because some of that being able to customize and create things for our Sims to do seem to be showing up here. And what's also interesting is I remember saying about businesses and hobbies that one of my critiques about the game sometimes is that they emphasize a lot on the ways for our Sims to make money, but I don't feel like they emphasize a lot on ways for our Sims to spend that money. Businesses and hobbies kind of brings both, right? Because you are able to run your own, you know, cottage business basically and earn money, but then also simultaneously you can create a business that charges people to be there, which we've been seeing when I play Tiny Town, because I go to, for example, the music studio, and we're paying hourly every time we're there, which, you know, is funny. And I'm wondering if the getaways and the custom venues can kind of still be doing something like that. Like, we're going and we're doing these different things and it costs us money to engage with these things, because it's, oh God, it's so interesting to say, because I was just about to say, it is so easy to make money in Sims 4, and yet my Sims in Tiny Town 2 are struggling. Now, it's because I'm playing struggle rules. I could have just cheated their money, yes. But it's very interesting how my philosophy has been, it's so easy to make money in The Sims, and yet a lot of my Tiny Town 2 Sims are broke as hell. You know? Have you seen the updated blog post yet? I say daycares and senior centers because they confirm cross-pack venues like that on their blog now. And we'll be going to the thing. Roger again saying nickel and diamond. I think most people that spend their money on a game expect it to work. They have quality control and game testers that they pay. It shouldn't be on the shoulders of the gamer. At least that's what people say to me. Freebird, I don't even mean that like, well, hey, thank you for sharing your opinion on this. I will also say that, like, saying that it shouldn't be on the shoulders of the gamer, I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you mean, like, because what I mean by that is the way to report issues with EA and The Sims is to go into the forums, make your post, and then depending on what it happens, they need your save file. And what I noticed when I was scrolling through, just a couple, not every post, but a couple of the posts, a lot of people were commenting saying they had issues, but they were not providing the details on how they're playing. They weren't providing the details on if they play with mods. And then subsequently, they weren't sharing that they were sharing their save files. And all of those are troubleshooting steps to get to making the game work. So to say it shouldn't be on the gamer, it should work. It's like, yeah, sure, it should work. But what happens when it doesn't work? There are steps that you have to go through in order to get it back to working again. And then what I notice is, in my opinion, there seems to be a disconnect in the community that there are steps that you have to do in order to get it to work. You said exactly will make playing as more than 2 or 3 sims a breeze for me now, because if we can send them off and we don't want to focus on if we can send off sims we don't want to focus on elsewhere to basically live at getaways. Seriously, my kids were just asking me to do this the other day. None of us can understand why your sims are struggling so hard. That's crazy. People may have fatigue from reporting at this point. And they just took their time and played the game before they release it, and not release it until it's ready to be played, and do it on a variety of different computers, then we can talk. Well, yeah. I don't know what to say about that. That's true. That's true too. I don't know. I just shrug because I'm like, I don't know what people expect at this point. I'm hoping. So I know you guys, well, I don't know if you've seen, but I've seen the rumors that The Sims is going on a break from major DLC. That is obviously to be determined. A break for how long, I don't know. But I'm just like, all right, great. Because then everybody's talking about, I don't want new stuff. I just want you to fix the game. Perfect. It sounds like they might be working on that then. You know, but from what I have seen and from what I have gathered, the Sims team is asking for save files. They need to see how it's breaking, and people are not giving it to them. That is what I've gathered from the different blog posts, from looking at the different messages, from the blog posts that we saw today. I have gathered that that players are not providing what they need to provide in order for the Sims team to fix these issues. But then turning around and still wanting to complain about how things don't work. I'm like, hello. We don't cheat money either, but our Sims have more money than they know what to do with. Okay, so what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to be insulted. Y'all see, you see me play. Do I need to be like super speedrunner simmer? Playing at only 3x and getting through 2 weeks in a matter of an hour? I don't even think I can concentrate. How much would I have to let ride? That, you know what, you want to talk about a challenge? That's the challenge. The challenge is I can only play Sims at 3x or pause and see how disastrous that would be for me. And that's my checkpoints. I need to get, my Sim needs to get, I'll make a family, 2 parents, you know, a stable 2-parent household, and a teen, a child, and an infant. The parents have to get promoted in their careers. The child or the teen has to have 1 successful school day. The child has to become an A+ student, and the infant has to get at least 5 milestones. And I can only play at 3x speed. Now that's a challenge. That would be a challenge for me, okay? I'm having problems with cheat codes for satisfaction points on PlayStation 4, and I'm feeling great. And I tell them all, thank you for making your day better. Wait. He said, V's money is going to a new kitchen after it catches on fire right after the remodel. Okay. Once again, I'm not going to stand for this. I'm not going to stand for this. I didn't realize you're having problems. Cheat codes for satisfaction points. I feel like I've seen that. And you're feeling great. Thank you for making your debit. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. He said you should clarify if you play this game with no mods in it, it works fine. In fact, it works with most mods, but it's when I get to the point where I probably have gone too far is when you've gone too far. And and that's my other secret thing that I am noticed that I'm worried about. Here's what I'm really worried about, y'all. And they kind of said it in that post and they kind of didn't. Also, let me pull up the blog post real quick because I have it open. Yeah, here we go. What I'm really worried about is that, and I don't, and I'm gonna say this, and I don't even think it's true, but I do think it's a factor. What I'm really worried about is that some of the issues that people are having serious problems with their games are because of mods, and not that the mod itself, but over time, the game has problems anyway, which is its own thing that they need to figure out. But then you pile on top certain mods that do certain things over time. I am curious if that slowly starts to erode at a save. Now, obviously, there's plenty of simmers who are saying that they're having issues. But what I notice is they'll use a language with and without mods. I'm having these issues in my save. So it makes me wonder, are you taking the mods out? Not you guys, right? I'm just saying you in general. Are you taking the mods out of your save file A, and then going into save file A and being like, things aren't working? Because I'm like, well, unfortunately, if you play a heavily modded save file A, your save file won't work without the mods, right? Okay, fine. You put them back in. Are they updated? Okay, you put them back in, they're updated, and you're still having problems. I don't know if you'll ever really be sure that the problems you're having in save file A weren't created from the mods and the game interacting with each other. That's why they always say, okay, well, is this issue happening in save file B, which is completely vanilla? Because if you're having a problem in save file B with no mods, that's something that we can work on as a Sims team. But if it's in save file A with XYZ mods, there's nothing we can do about that. And the other problem is too, which I think that goes back to the forums, right? Like, if I'm having a certain issue in my game, a save file B that's super vanilla, you're having the same issue in save file A that's heavily modded. They need save file B. And I don't know if the save file B people are giving their save files, because the save file A people who might be vocal about the issue, if save file B people aren't coming back and saying like, yeah, I agree, here's my save file, that's also going to be a problem. Issues can persist in the save after removing the mods in that save. That's why you got to test the mods without mods in a new save. Right. That's also going to be my recommendation, is for people to have a vanilla save regardless. Just always keep a vanilla save, just so you can just quadruple check. You did notice your hotkeys weren't working consistently today. You used a number pad for the speed, for the pause, also for C screenshots, and those were spotty today. Same for another stream earlier. It was weird. Oh, Lord. Here we go. I mean, we're a few days out from an update, so who knows? And I already said, and this is just my theory, I don't even know if this is true, but sometimes if whatever weird happens, like as new content's coming out, I just am like, it has to be related to some new content. You definitely agree, V. A lot of people who complain on Reddit and trash the game play with loads of mods and also complain about the game not working with their CC without realizing the mods are little issues of what they're complaining about. Can be, for sure. And then they, like I said, they come back and they're like, even without the mods, it's still an issue. And I'm like, without the mods in the same save file that you normally have mods in though, because you can't test there. You always start a new save file whenever you're having problems. And if I need to take stuff in and out of it, you may even make another file to do that with this benchmark. Yeah, I believe that's what the other thing too. I'm like, I have to believe people with what they're saying. And I just, sometimes I'm like, I just want us to be on the same page. You know, because some people sound like they know what they're talking about. I play this save with mods. I took my mods out, you know, because even for example, I can't just take better build buy out of my game. You basically have to turn it off and then take it out, or you end up having all these problems. And every time I don't do that, I have all these problems in my game. Not all these problems, just like how the thing organizes in the catalog messes up. Oh man, I was going somewhere with this though. I think the gist of what I was trying to say is that Adventure Awaits seems like it could be a lot of fun for players. It does seem like the pack that has created the most excitement in the community since maybe Love Struck. I remember people being really excited about Love Struck. A certain community was really excited about Love Struck. Now, I don't know if it delivered, but maybe Love Struck. Life and Death was also kind of like iffy because Life and Death ended up being like kind of spooky occult-y related, so I think some people just weren't sure about it. I'm just wondering what came out before that. It's not really in order. If you go to the website, it's like they break it out by content type and not just like if you go to explore all and not just kind of like actual date of when things came out. Ooh, you see, I'm slipping. There may be people who don't even clear their caches between adding and removing things. That makes a difference too. Oh, hey, Mama Daisha. How are you doing? I agree. It's always around an update. Things go a little haywire. Usually it's a non-issue and the game can still be played. Yeah, usually. Horse Ranch before Love Struck and then Life and Death after. Oh my, is my stream acting up? Let me stop recording this. Excuse me. Push play. How are you? Let me exit out on this. I guess I didn't go live on TikTok today. I'm gonna have to update this stream because clearly I'm just chit-chatting today. It was nice. It's been nice to just chit-chat because I didn't get to stream last week. Doing well. How are you? I'm doing well now. It's been nice to hang out with everyone, talk about Sims things. I started off the stream a little rough. Okay. Of course things are starting to go awry. Yeah. Okay, so you said Horse Ranch before. I don't know. Some of these specs, I was really excited for Growing Together. I was really excited for Rent. Then I don't know. I don't know. I guess I just personally feel like let me record this. I just personally feel like Adventure Awaits has had the community buzzing. You know, the Beehive is buzzing. Like it's the Sim Hive is buzzing. And people seem really excited about this. And I think that it is interestingly timed with the messaging of the game is in a state where people can't play, you know? He said for flaw. Oh, wait, let me see what you said. You said, now I will say that since the update they gave us, that disabled pack features, my save file that uses disabled packs doesn't load into live mode. But it is what it is. I think the disabling packs and mods and then the update to that feature messed things up, but I was thankfully able to save everything important to move to a brand new save. But yeah, I 100% believe it was the mods. It was mods for fun. Yeah, but, and yes, I know it's like you're joking and stuff, but it's like, yeah, even that feature is a little odd. And you know what? People were saying that feature came for The Sims 3 towards the end. That's why the whole thing is really odd right now. Like I said, I have video coming out. Yeah, for Rent was before Love Struck. Yeah. You were excited for Horse Ranch, and then when you got it, you couldn't play it until just recently you managed to somehow weed out the CC that was breaking it. Oh, there was CC breaking Horse Ranch? That's wild. Because I'm always like, CC is usually fine. What kind of CC was it? You like For Rent, but I always say as a pack, it has weird issues. Oh, yeah. For Rent. Oh, my girl For Rent. She a little, a little wild. I think no pack flopped harder upon release than My Wedding Stories. That was the one that set the community ablaze. Came out in, I'm just looking on the website, February 2022. After, I remember that because it was after Valentine's Day, and I remember being like, what? So, yeah. My Wedding Stories 2022, terrible release. I would say Enchanted by Nature also had a rough release. It had a rough release with all the little features that were supposed to be gameplay things we were looking forward to, and now everyone's like, turn that off. Which is interesting that you guys just said that too about Adventure Awaits, because you're saying that some of you were saying that it seems like it has a good balance of things that you would want to do if you're into children gameplay or if you're into not children gameplay, which that same logic didn't work for Enchanted by Nature, I noticed. If you're into fairies, I don't think you're happy entirely with Enchanted by Nature. And if you're not into fairies, you're definitely not really happy with Enchanted by Nature. I mean, I think people who were excited to have fairies, if you have Enchanted by Nature, you're excited to have fairies, but I'm not sure if that was the pack that everyone wanted it to be. And it probably just should have been a game pack. And it does make me feel like some of the things that we got, like the house plants, apothecary, all that sort of stuff, almost could have just come with businesses and hobbies. And then luck and balance and fairies specifically could have just been in a game pack with Enchanted by Nature. But that's why I said game packs are dead for real. I didn't used to say that. I used to be like, oh my gosh, people used to say X, Y, and Z pack type is dead, but they don't know. I'm like, ooh, fairies came in an expansion pack. They said game packs are over. There's one lot in Tomarang that no matter what you do, it reverts back to residential. You tried to make it a bar, gym, spa, but when I go back, it makes it residential. Oh, I wonder if that's in the forums. Do you remember the lot name? I'm just typing in for rent lot residential. Nope. Someone said, I downloaded. Nope. Nope. This has solved. Solved. I also wonder if people get notified when... Oh, sorry. Let me also play some music. I also wonder if people get notified when they have responses on their forum posts. He said you should report it, slacker. Well, I was also trying to find it and I don't see it. Like just casually looking. But that's why I was like, oh, I wonder, not expanded to ops. This has had 17 replies have been turned off for this discussion. Sorry, I noticed it had 17,000 eyeballs. Like that's a lot of eyeballs. Where'd it go? Right here, 17K eyeballs from 2 years ago. And recommended remedy was to delete the stairs. Oh, interesting. But that's a workaround, right? Like sometimes I'm like, that's not a fix. That's a workaround for the fix. Okay, you do get an email. Okay, well, I didn't know. Anyway, yeah, I am excited for this, for the potential of what this could be, and I am, and it seems like the community is excited as well. And I'm also excited about the Sims team's continued commitment and communication to improving the game. I think that they can do a little bit more to share like the process a little bit better, but the fact that they started to, I think is important. I don't know if that helps other people, because at this point there's also a level of, if you're already frustrated, if players are already frustrated, they're already fed up, you know, okay, it's nice that a little post on the website has been made. What does it mean if a year and 3 months ago y'all said the same thing? You know, like, from my point of view, they followed through on what they said, but to someone else's point of view, if all they're experiencing is glitches and crashes, what does it matter if the Sims team followed through on whatever they said that they were going to do? If when I play the game, I'm still experiencing glitches and crashes constantly, it's not fun. So I get that. You had the problem too during Tiny Town Run. Yeah. I remember. Yeah. Notice how on Tiny Town 2, I don't need to build nothing. We're just retrofitting the building with the new layout, but I don't have to build anything from scratch. That was so annoying. Sometimes people report things and the response is, yeah, that's how it's intended, but we'll take note. And like, how are you only get a boost to level 3 of the romance consultant career with a degree, even though that's the same as if you get an A in high school and less than the connections reward trait you can buy? What's the point? Well, now we have another place where we can leave feedback, which is in the Discord, which I noticed. I wonder, let me check right now. Because did they turn off the feedback for the gallery? Because they said they were going to turn off the feedback for the gallery on the 10th of September. But it is the 16th of September and it's still open. So that makes me a little bit nervous. Because that makes me feel like, are y'all actually taking in the feedback? Or has it become so much feedback that you can't possibly manage it? I'm a little bit worried about that. Because there's a lot of stuff in here. What I think they could have done is instead of like having just any open feedback, is maybe making a form. Like making a form where you have to respond in the format that they're asking for. Still, people would still probably try to figure out ways to just say whatever they want in any old way that they want. But making a form saying my feedback is related to X, you know, and because they had a list of questions that they wanted people to respond in that certain way. And like people did not do that, which, you know, yeah. I think they got overwhelmed. That's what I'm worried about. I don't need you to be overwhelmed if you're going to ask for feedback. I think you need to turn it off when you said you're going to turn it off, or take away that deadline that you said, because it makes me feel like you're not going to follow. That to me makes me feel like you're not going to follow through. You, at this point, you have no way of knowing who came in after the 10th or cutting that off in Discord, right? Like, I thought that they were going to just archive it. And I would have just rather them do that, because in some level that just says that we controlled it. We're on top of it. You're always excited, but cynical at the same time. And I think I like to say I'm cautiously optimistic, because I'm always optimistic. And then I am totally prepared to be totally let down. And I'm like, damn, this didn't work the way that I wanted, but I like being optimistic. You said you post like 5 times in each. They sick of me. Okay, y'all. Well, I'm going to relabel this stream and just say that we were just talking mess, and because I am fading fast. So yeah, I'll be back so we can actually play The Sims, because I haven't, now I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I have not played this game. So we can actually play The Sims on Thursday with the update. So that'll be fun. And I never even went back and put Better Build Buy back into my game. So, hopefully after this, I'll be able to. What is happening? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's just saying that I'm live. Okay. Well, anyway, thank you all for joining me tonight, and I will see you all on Thursday. Thank you all for always being so flexible with me whenever just life has been lifing. And yeah, I love that there's this space where we can just kind of geek out about sim stuff, talk shit, get excited, talk about the prophecy. I just looked at the calendar again. I'm like, the prophecy. And so, yeah, I'll see you all on Thursday. Thank you so much for hanging out. And until next time, y'all, dag.